But can't it be argued that Ayurveda is like a cultural thing,
I don't give
though?
a shit, okay? Some cultures are better than others. Simple fact.
Ooh.
I'm just saying, like,
Listen, Destiny, shut the fuck up, okay? Bro, you're a fucking frog with an eye ring. Please, get to your point.
We'll pause
Listen,
really
bro,
quickly.
if you want to talk about bigotry, Destiny, I don't think you want to go down that path, okay, bro? Bro, I don't give a shit about your dusty-ass panel. Get MrGirl in here. Who cares?
Chud, settle down a little bit, mate. You get the God's honest truth out of me. That's it. There ain't no abuse victim here.
Dan, shut up. Careful, Dan. I might start stalking you next.
So don't sit there and tell me I'm making the association when he's done it himself.
Wait.
Fuck out of
Hold
it.
on, wait.
Chill.
Chud's got a lot of energy in here.
Look, I'm going to be real with you, okay? I don't mean to be rude to anyone, but the only reason I'm going on this panel is because I'm told that Destiny might be there and MrGirl will be there. You know, it's 1 a.m. for me. I was going to say no, but then when he said that they'd be on there, I was like, okay, well, I'll probably turn up then because, you know, like, I'll not, you know, I'll go against my day off because it sounds like a good panel, you know? So if they're not there, I'll be a bit annoyed. I'll be a bit annoyed. Wait, Destiny told Fanatiq no, but Fanatiq made the tweet anyway. What? Are you kidding me? No, he said to me tentative in DMs. He said to me tentative, Destiny tentative. God, how do I say? Listen, how can I say? I feel like a fucking diva. I feel like a fucking diva. How do I say I'm not really interested in coming on unless there's actually people I want to talk to? Like, I don't know, it's a bit rude, isn't it? But it's like, I don't just want to come on like with a bunch of people I don't know and argue about Dr. K. Like, I'm not really that interested in doing that. I mean, I don't even know if we disagree or not.
Nice of you to join. We're just waiting on Destiny, I believe, and Anavoir. She said she'd be about 10 minutes late.
Yep. We're 10 minutes late already, aren't we? Jesus.
Yeah, we are. Listen.
So we're a bit of a
They
stickler.
call it color people time, but you know what I mean? Sometimes your people do it too.
Hang on. Am I engaging in white supremacy right now by insisting on a correct start time? Is that what you're saying?
I mean, I've heard that from some leftists, but
Okay.
you know, we just dismiss those kind of people, right?
I mean, I don't know. It seems a bit silly to me. I think we can all get to stuff on time regardless of the color of our skin, right? That's my thoughts anyway.
100%. 100%. Man, we've only had, I think, really one interaction before, Chud. Thank you for joining this panel on such a short notice.
No, it's all good. Happy to be here. It should be an interesting conversation. I don't know. It's interesting to hear what other people's takes about it are because I've spoken a lot about it, you know?
Yeah, so actually a buddy of mine told me that you had like some really strong takes on it. And so I thought, yeah, let me go ahead and reach on out. It's crazy because I think your take is, I think, the most common take. So we're not going to get a lot of, I don't think there'll be a lot of pushback. But fortunately, that's good. Well, we'll get into that. But the purpose of this kind of panel is not about like, oh, I want some spicy argument or some crazy takes or anything like that. It really is about like just having a conversation and like making voices being heard, and just discussing things with it. If everybody's on the same page, it doesn't matter. You know, it's just about, you know, kind of hitting on key points and getting through a conversation.
Yeah, for sure. Avoiding the blood sports type mentality, basically.
Absolutely. Though you know I can do me some blood sports, you know what I mean?
I mean, yeah. I'm going to be honest with you. Obviously, I'm friends with Supreme, but the wicked supremacist thing is hilarious, okay?
Yeah, that's his name, though. You're friends with who? Wicked Supremacist? That's cool. He's a character.
Can I just ask, why do you call him wicked supremacist?
Basically, I just feel like, oh God, this is a pretty nasty take. Not for this panel, so we're going to edit that out. But I just feel like when it came to the whole Dylan Burns and Prime situation, I think there was an element of supremacy there. I think if Prime wasn't a black person, it might not have happened in the exact same way. And I think the only reason why that situation played out the way it did was I think there are some racial elements. I think there are racial elements on Twitch. And obviously Prime being a black streamer and like really kind of elevating black voices, and then Katarana jumping from Zaddy to Zaddy, I just feel like it was almost impossible to ignore the racial elements. And so Wicked Supreme was supposed to be helping Prime in that situation, or at least he claimed to be. He was a neutral party, but was like trying to make sure everything happened appropriately. And of course, nothing did. But that's a whole nother conversation.
That is, yeah, sorry, I don't want to get sidetracked onto that. But yeah,
I'm gonna be honest, bruh. Okay, hey, let me wave at this nigga Destiny. Yo, yo, yo. We're gonna start without her. She can't hold up the whole show. It is, and now you know what, Astro. Now she's hopping to Zaddy number 3, aka Vaush.
oh my fucking. Okay, Fanatiq, let me get your take on that. Vosh hosting a panel, Black History Month, Black panel. What do you think?
Disgusting. Disgusting, disgusting, disgusting. Everything about it pisses me off. I think Vosh has already like done more than enough damage to like black content creators, and the fact that he's doing it on Black History Month just doesn't make anything better. It's kind of gross. I'm not a fan. I don't think that he has our interest at heart, and he's working
oh my
with.
God, wait, am I missing drama? Who doesn't have whose interest at heart?
No. I'm sorry, Destiny. We
go.
weren't trying to get into all there. We
Come
were
on,
just
let's
talking about
go.
Vosh and his.
I'm sure Destiny's got some takes on that.
What
I
happened?
don't think Destiny cares. You know, just Vosh hosting his Black History Month Black panel stream thing, whatever. And you know, with Katarana, the person who tried to take Prime down, and now it just seems like she's hopping to Zaddy number 3, and it just seems somewhat problematic. But you know,
Wait,
this isn't the space for those kind of takes.
Do you think Katarana and Vosh are fucking? Is that what you're saying?
Nah, not really. What I'm saying, hopping to Zaddy number 3, it's not about them sleeping together. It's just, you know, her looking to another white man to help elevate her platform. That's all. But hey, so listen, Anavar said she'd be about 10 minutes late. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start the show, and then she'll join as soon as she possibly can. Because it's past 10 minutes, and I don't know how much longer she was gonna be. She said that 5 minutes ago. So, really quickly, as always.
Wait, am I just a white man elevating your panel to you? How are we? I'm feeling a little
Destiny-
uncomfortable here now after that comment. What do you mean by that?
Destiny, there's literally no way we can get around the fact that you've absolutely elevated my platform. I genuinely appreciate you coming to the Fanatiq show. You were like the pilot, like for that show, and then obviously now we've like Jesse Lee Peterson is gonna be
Yeah,
the
sure.
first
But I
episode
just
and
like,
stuff. But you
for
did
the
that,
record,
for sure.
I don't elevate your platform because you're not white. Okay, I elevate your platform
course.
because you're not a woman.
Based. Giga Chad, let's go.
We're editing that out.
Let's
hey,
go. Okay, just kidding. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that's,
Wait,
that's
can we
all
not be
I'm gonna keep it. Don't worry
misogynistic?
about
I
it.
thought this was we could hate women here in safety. This is a
No.
safe space. No?
No.
Okay. Shit.
No, it's not that space at all.
Okay. No worries.
All right, so listen. The purpose of the Fanatiq show, specifically the Fanatiq show panel, is to elevate discourse. And I wish I had written something down because I hate trying to do this extemporaneously, but it's just kind of life. And I am not really good at scheduling and planning, but I'm working on it. Anyways, as with the previous conversations, my goal here is to bring discourse to the forefront and make sure that the ideas are expressed. So this isn't a space for gotchas or quick takes or all of the other nonsense that typically are in Twitch spaces. This is a conversation, and I think we can easily address each other's ideas without having to attack the people. Unfortunately, in this situation, we don't have many people on the other side of this position because I've kind of like talked to a few people to like kind of gauge where people are, but it doesn't matter because the purpose is to have conversation, not for some hot internet debates. So we're going to move forward. Anyways, so the topic of this conversation is about Dr. K, Healthy Gamer, and MrGirl. Of course, my stream goes blurry. It just does that all the time, and I don't understand why. It's this one. See if maybe we can make it clear up. Probably not. Doesn't matter. Okay, so Dr. K started Healthy Gamer with the idea of sending powerful messages that would address endemic issues within the gaming community. He was inspired by encountering similar stories from multiple people in his private practice. Many of us can recognize the benefits of his powerful messages. Aside from his general broadcast, he sometimes engages in conversation with individuals. Those conversations, to some, resemble therapy session. Do these conversations cross ethical lines? Are they beneficial for observers? And I guess we might go ahead and do individual takes on this first. And I guess we can kind of start with ChudLogic. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, obviously, I'm no expert in medical ethics, but I think if you review the conversation with Recful, just as an example, it's quite clear that there is an ill-defined relationship there. It's uncertain as to whether they're patient relationship or friends or colleagues or anything. So I think on that point alone, it's pretty clear that there's been, some ethical breaches somewhere along the way. I don't think that Dr. K is like necessarily directly solely responsible for what happened, but I think certainly it's worth considering if there's some negligence that's been engaged in, and obviously if a doctor's behaved in a negligent manner, that's something that needs to be addressed in some way. So that's really up to the ethics board to decide. I'm not sure if we'll get into it on this panel, but obviously his support of Ayurveda and his pushing of pseudoscience is very troubling as well. particularly considering he's presenting himself as a Harvard psychiatrist and this expert, etc. But then he's trying to almost backdoor in some of this Ayurvedic woo-woo bullshit, which is not backed by any sort of meaningful, credible science. So yeah, I'm kind of pretty much, anti Dr. K himself. I think the idea of helping mentally ill gamers is good for sure, but that doesn't necessarily mean that Dr. K's doing it in the right way, and that's something we need to think about. And yeah, that's it basically.
Okay. Jeff, the man, the myth, the legend, the guy without a camera today. How do you feel?
Okay. Let me Yep. So after watching MrGirl's video, I feel like as far as medical ethics, I feel like it almost definitely crosses medical ethical line. But I mean, that's just kind of my interpretation on it. I think if I were to go a little bit past that, I think I think I'd have to really, really think about even just like regular ethics, like not even like medical ethics, whether I think these conversations are even ethically uh, above board. I think that these conversations can be beneficial for observers. I think that I question how much of it is more benefit or to a detriment. I think that this is it for all intents and purposes. It's beneficial, but I also think it's a little exploitative, and I don't know which one is more significant. I lean more on that it's kind of beneficial, but I think that exploitative nature of it is something that nobody really talks about. I think taking people's mental health issues and sort of making a show of it, even at their own behest, like because it's not like he's just dragging people off the street, and it's not like they don't know what they're getting into. I think taking these pretty deep emotional issues and then just putting them on display just because I think that's something that can also be considered. Yes, I think it's unethical medically. I think it might also be a little dubious, even just regular ethically. And I do think that it's possible that there's benefit for observers, but I think that just to consider it a benefit because there's some benefit in there is a little too much in my opinion.
Okay.
Mhm.
Destiny.
Yeah, I think there's probably some benefit to showcasing content like this on Twitch, but obviously there are ethical concerns when you're doing live therapy with people on Twitch that probably need to be addressed in a more responsible manner as well.
Okay. Very concise. I appreciate it. Doobie.
Yeah, so I think that the Dr. K's activity on Twitch might have violated some regulations. I think that seems to be pretty clear that there's at least some question there. But I think that if you were going to attack his platform or criticize his platform, much easier target would probably be like the pretty transparent conflicts of interest in growing his platform with good content versus like being responsible about the way he interacts with people in serious need of like actual clinical treatment. But that being said, I think that the internet, this space, lots of internet spaces are so full of very mentally ill people who don't have access to this kind of stuff in their daily lives, and maybe there's like a stigma around it. So even if they did have access to it, there's a stigma, so they don't want to reach out and get this help. I think because he's providing like this kind of like gateway for people to interact with this, to at least relate to people that he brings on the stream, and maybe seek help themselves. I think that taking down his platform would actually do far more harm than anything he's doing on Twitch.
Um, okay. I appreciate that. That's all you guys is taking. We'll be able to engage in that in a second. My opinion, really quickly, is just that I do believe it seems like there might be some ethical concerns. Now, obviously, this I'm not no expert in this field, so it's not like something I can say with authority. But it does seem like, just from the way things were presented and the way, kind of the idea that you would be having these kind of therapeutic conversations on stream, it does seem a little bit just inappropriate to me. Uh, but at the same time, I do recognize I think Healthy Gamer, like just that movement in general, is incredibly helpful. I can't tell you the number of videos that I've watched over there that have like truly been personally beneficial to me. I'm a humongous fan of Dr. K. I think he's doing a lot of great good, and I think there are some questions about whether or not there's plenty of people who can't afford a therapist, who just don't have the means to like seek out like official mental health. And I think him kind of doing this broader thing where he's like kind of sharing. I don't like the private sessions necessarily, or the one-on-one things, but just the videos and kind of the information that he releases. I think that has like just undeniable
Fanatic,
value.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I think you've muted your stream, so your stream can't hear you. So far.
Son of a gun. Of course. Sounds about right. I'm always doing something like that.
It's okay.
Thank you for the heads up. Did I mute myself on stream? Yes, I did, and I unmuted the other thing. There we go. Yeah. I guess we'll just have to find a way of re-recording that. I don't know. We'll get to it. With that being said, you guys can kind of, address everything. It seems like you guys all kind of agree, right?
Yeah, I don't know what our big disagreements are going to be at here.
Well, I thought it was
The
about the
only
conversation, not about arguing. But I do have a point to make anyway. I think that basically people often conflate Dr. K and healthy gaming, and it's an easy mistake to make. But like, healthy gaming could in itself do some good. We all know gamers need mental health support. Let's be real. But Dr. K is in some ways a separate entity for that. And one example of this is he said, well, we've stepped away from the Ayurveda conversation with healthy gamer, but he himself is associated with the research board for Ayurvedic kind of medicine. So I think it's important to note that healthy gamer could potentially be something that does some good. But Dr. K, I think, has got some fucked up shit going on, to put it lightly. So, yeah, I think it's important to separate those two things out.
Well, I don't know if you can, not in the way that I think that MrGirl or you, Chud, sometimes on your stream go after him. I think that kind of tarring him in the way that a lot of people have, right, is like financially benefiting from someone's suicide, like acting as like a vulture and pulling out people's like mental issues for everybody to see, and then just leaving them there on the floor. I think that casting that kind of light on him does harm to him for sure, but it also does a lot of harm to the organization that he's built, right, and to its reputation. And given that this organization is doing a lot of good, right, lots of people benefit from this. I think that going at it this way is actually like I would say it's more, again, it's doing more damage. I would say it's even more unethical than what Dr. K has been doing on the streams.
Wait, you're saying what
Wait,
I've
what's
done
more
is more
ethical?
You said I'm more
I
unethical.
think, yeah, I think some of the language has been used about Dr. K, right?
What
I think
language? Wait. Sorry, what language have I used about Dr. K that you think is unethical?
I think the implication that he's
No,
that
not the
you just
implication
you
that
just
you
you
said.
just
No,
did
no,
it
no,
actually.
no.
Well, let me
Wait,
respond.
hold on.
I don't
Let's
know
not
about
get too
implications.
cantankerous.
No. Listen, we've barely started yet. I don't give a shit about implications. I want to hear what I've said that you think's bad. I don't give a shit what your
Okay.
implication is. Give me the quote.
Yeah, that's fine. So you just brought up the Ayurveda thing, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And said, oh, he's part of a separate research board looking to Ayurvedic medicine,
Yeah.
right? And bringing that up, separate activity. And so far as I know, he's not prescribing any Ayurvedic medicine or offering any Ayurvedic medicine other than like meditation to these people, right? So bringing that up in connection with this conversation, in connection with Healthy Gamer, I think it attaches those two, right? Obviously.
Okay.
And I think that's an unfair thing to do.
That's a fucking stupid thing to say because he's done it himself. He on stream has spoken about how your fucking nose shape links into your dosha. He said Ayurvedic colleagues over in India have predicted COVID outcomes from people's dosha. He's made that association himself. That was before I even fucking came along. So don't sit there and tell me I'm making the association when he's fucking done it himself. Get the fuck out of here.
Hold on, wait.
Chill.
Chud's got a lot of energy in here. Can we bring Chud's energy down like 2 notches? My goal is to break Chud by the end of this. We'll break him.
I was just about to. I'm sorry. Like, so, like I get it. If he's like, if you feel attacked personally in this situation, but he's really more attacking the. Where is that?
No, wait a second.
Yeah, he
It's
did.
making me uncomfortable.
he's-
Okay, there's a lot of energy.
Listen,
in here.
Destiny, shut the
It's-
fuck
it's
up,
harassing
okay?
master
Listen,
group, yeah.
I'm
Can
in the middle of
I
something
respond
here,
to-
okay?
can I respond to what you
speak a
just
second.
said?
You can do in a sec, but I just want to say, he said I was unethical. So, yeah, that is a personal attack. So fuck off with that shit. You may speak.
He did. Listen, hold on, just a second. Well, if it's his idea that it's unethical, I get it. If it's something, if that makes this conversation too difficult to have, then maybe we can kind of rethink the way we're going about this. But I think
Sorry.
without looking at it
I'm not
personally,
having any
I'm
difficulty
sorry.
here. It seems like everyone else in the panel is having difficulty. I'm totally fine.
I am having a difficulty
Okay.
right now.
All right. Well, the purpose of this is to discuss conversation, and it does seem like your energy is getting really, really, really hostile because he's calling you, because he said these
He's
words
calling
to
me
you.
unethical and I'm getting hostile. What a shocker.
Sure. So, do you think that it's something that you can emotionally handle?
I can emotionally handle anything, okay? Let's go. Come on.
Okay. Then let's try to do it with some good energy and keep the conversation
I've just
going
cracked
forward.
another energy drink to calm down, okay?
All right.
Alright,
Whatever you got to do, buddy.
All right. Yeah, dude. You probably wouldn't. You wouldn't really stand on that word unethical. That was just kind of
No,
the
absolutely.
word you grabbed.
Yeah,
okay.
no,
Well, there you go.
I think
Well, there you
it's
go.
what's the definition of ethical? I think you're doing like a moral wrong, right? I think it's actually immoral to do that kind of stuff.
Not
Because
a personal attack, by
so
the way. Continue.
when he's been on stream, right? Good people do immoral things sometimes. Okay, I call the mustache that you have on right now on your avatar pretty immoral. It's disgusting. It's really drawing my attention away from beautiful Mr. Fanatiq
Bro,
over
you're
here.
a fucking frog with an eye ring. Please
Wait,
get
oh,
to your point.
don't attack my species. The fuck. So let's move back to the
We have
topic.
a serious
So I think that
conversation, please.
I think that
Just to say, attacking a species is actual unironic racism. Like
Oh,
Sure.
fuck
racism,
off,
like,
Destiny.
Speciesism for sure. Let's
What
keep it
is this
Destiny.
conversation?
you are British.
What is
It's
this
not a real
conversation
conversation
right
Here,
now?
we'll pause
Listen,
really
bro,
quickly.
if you want to talk about bigotry, Destiny, I don't think you want to go down that path, okay, bro?
Let's not. Let's
I've
not.
seen-
Hold
I've
on,
seen
hold
it
on. We're not
all.
doing that. We're not doing that.
Privately,
We're not doing that.
privately,
Chud,
not
please, for the
publicly.
love of God, this is not a blood sports thing. Please, 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 if you can respect the energy and the intent of this conversation. So Anna, what we opened up and we were talking about just basically the fact that like Dr. K and like Healthy Gamer, and I guess I was kind of associating the two. I don't think it's even really possible to fully divorce the two. And we were talking about the fact that are his conversations beneficial for observers? That was one question, and then the second one is: do these conversations, the the one-on-one
I think right now,
conversations,
though, we were
do they
getting
cross
on.
ethical lines? Please don't, Destiny. Please, for the help. Please, please, I love you. Please,
Well, I
please.
wanted Dooby and the other guy to resolve. Chud
No,
to
no,
resolve.
they're not going to resolve that. They're not going to
But that's
resolve
an
that.
important question.
God, it is
It
important.
genuinely is not. It
It's
genuinely
super
is not.
important.
So
That's what
Anna,
the
can
content is,
we've gotten
bro.
everyone
What are you
else's
talking
take.
about? Oh my god, okay.
I'm not trying to make content. I'm trying to make a conversation. Please.
Okay.
That's what the conversation was.
No, that's not it. Anna, can you please? Can you? We've gotten everyone else's take. Can you give your rough thoughts on just two questions? Number one, do you think that the conversations that Dr. K has cross ethical lines? And then number two, are they beneficial for observers?
Well, I think that they're beneficial for observers for sure. Though I'm not so sure for the participants how I mean, I think they could be beneficial, but again, I think it's since they look very similar to therapy, it's it's really difficult to say whether the participants like genuinely fully understand like this isn't a therapy, like this isn't therapy because it looks so much like therapy. And a lot of the things he does during his interviews are things that well, I mean, therapists do. I guess that's not very specific, sorry. Um, but it really does resemble therapy a lot because he sort of like starts off with like exploring like a person's, childhood sometimes, and he even will probe questions like he will use probing questions about like people's trauma history and things like that. And this is on a public platform, and that's a really it's ethically problematic, really, because these are, well, just in general,
Hey, thanks for that. That's really
anyone
generous
who's
of
dealing
you.
with like a mental
He
illness
about
is
to defend my
just
favorite
a
streamers
vulnerable
on
person,
dancing on
and I
graves
mean,
and turning a
to put them in front of like a huge audience and stuff, and kind of talk about their trauma and the most vulnerable aspects of their life. Yeah, I mean, I think he has crossed some ethical lines. I do think so. Yeah. I wouldn't say that it's enough. I don't know if it's enough to really justify taking away his license. But yeah.
Okay. I guess so. Wow. It seems like we all kind of agree. In
Well,
that
I think there
regard.
was a huge disagreement
There was
earlier,
just a
wasn't
huge
there?
Please, Destiny,
disagreement.
come on, man. Please, for the love of
But there
God,
was an
please.
actual disagreement. Let me reframe this in a non-inflammatory way, okay?
Thank
Do we
you.
think that bringing up certain things relating to Dr. K that might be legitimate criticisms of him are damaging to the healthy gamer org as a whole? And if that is true, should that prevent us from bringing up some negative things about Dr. K? Because that was essentially the earlier charge that ChudLogic was charged with by Dooby, was that he shouldn't even bother saying these things, right?
Sure. Doobie, well, how do you feel about that?
Yeah, I think it's an unfair attack, right? And I think it's trying to the way that it's typically phrased is to me it comes off as like you're trying to portray him as like some religious nut who's pushing his religion on these very vulnerable, very mentally ill people. And my understanding of this is he mentions his faith sometimes in these conversations, but he never pushes him on people. He never says, "Hey, go take this fucking potion." Right? It's not that sort of thing. So
Okay.
the fact that he
You're
is
already full of
separate
shit.
from
You've only been speaking for a
separate from his
minute.
work, separate from his work with Healthy Gamer, The fact that he is part of some research group looking into Ayurvedic medicine and whether or not it could actually be beneficial, I don't see that as an issue either, right? So people in India have been using some of these things for like 5,000 years. What's the issue with a research group forming to investigate whether there's actual medical truth to any of this shit? That seems totally
Okay.
fine to me. In fact, that's what you'd want them to do. So I think that there was a stream that he did recently where he
Okay,
responded
wait,
to
can we
this.
get on? Can Chud respond? This is like, we don't need 12-hour answers,
Sure,
okay?
go on.
Let
Yeah,
Chud
this is
get in here.
fucking crazy. Okay,
It's
right.
unreal.
You're
It's
gonna
fucking
moderate
unreal.
Destiny?
Well, I'm just saying, he's
Okay.
getting steam, he's getting gish galloped over here.
I'm getting gish galloped. It's
I
fucking
don't Destiny, please. So hold on,
getting
Chud.
filibustered. Right, come on.
Okay,
Let's have
okay.
at it.
Just really quick. I hear you, but just understand, please,
Okay.
for the love of God, if this is not, like genuinely,
Yeah.
like from my heart of hearts,
Okay.
like okay, like the purpose of this is to have a conversation, and it
That's
seems like
fine.
you are coming in, and it seems like you're coming
Yeah.
in relatively hot. If
That's
this
fine.
is something that can't be cooled down,
Okay.
then I like then
All I want to say is this, okay? If I want to
please,
circle jerk,
as
I'll go to the fucking
charitably
gay
and as
sauna.
conversation
I'll head down to
as
the gay
possible.
sauna with my bros if I want to circle jerk, okay? I'm not looking for a circle
Okay.
jerk. I'll tone it down a bit. But yes, I do feel very fucking antagonistic about this topic, especially when fucking dipshits like Dooby have heard half a thing and they're like, oh, Chud, you said this. I think you said this. It's a load of fucking shit, right? It's a very simple point. I don't give a shit about people introducing religion, meditation, whatever, okay? But the specific things that Dr. K has said in regards to Ayurveda on his channel is pushing pseudoscience. It's literally as simple as that, okay? So the idea that I'm complaining about religion being introduced is nonsense. It's quite clear in my video that I made about it what specifically I was talking about, okay? And if you are with people on your stream talking about how your nose shape is indicative of dosha, vata, pitta, kapha, wind, fire, water, whatever bullshit it is, right? Then that's just nonsense and there's nothing in it. So you can do as much fucking science as you want on it, okay? I very much doubt you're going to find some way of proving that the shape of your nose is indicative of, like, in a meaningful way, medical outcomes. It's complete horseshit, and that's the kind of thing I'm against.
But can't it be argued that Ayurveda is like a cultural thing?
I don't give
though?
a shit, okay? Some cultures are better than others. Simple fact.
I'm just saying, like,
But you're
ethically though, I mean,
It's true. It's true. It's
therapists
true.
are allowed to like have.
Wait, let me clarify
views,
real quick because
no?
I don't think people know 100% what I don't think people know what Chud is talking about. So sometimes Dr. K, when he starts off a conversation with somebody, he'll say like, "Hey, do you mind if I frame this through like I don't even know if it's Buddhism or what or whatever the Ayurveda stuff. If I can frame this through this sort of like narration, are you comfortable with that?" And then people will say yes or no, and then he'll do that based on that. And I think that's probably fine. I think we all probably think that that's fine. But the problem that Chud has is he goes a little bit farther than that. And when he's on stream, not necessarily talking to like a patient or whatever, not talking to a person, sometimes when he's on stream, he will just be talking about like, oh yeah, well, you know, like we know that your Ayurveda and your dosha can do this or that, or there's research showing that like it can be predictive of like COVID-19 outcomes. And I think what Chud is saying is he's uncomfortable that he is on one hand presenting himself as kind of this objective Harvard-trained psychiatrist, and then on another hand, he's talking about what is essentially pseudoscience, I think is what Chud is saying. So it's not just using like the religious framings for therapy, it's the pseudoscience that he gets into on stream that bothers him.
Okay, thank you, Destiny, for saying that in the most charitable way. Doobie, can you respond to that statement?
Yeah, I think that concern would make sense. Would make more sense if he were presenting himself to these patients even as like a therapist or as like a psychologist or psychiatrist, right?
He presents himself as a doctor. He's called Dr. K.
He is a doctor,
and he
right?
presents himself as
That
Dr.
doesn't mean that
K,
everything
and he
he
says
does
he's
on
a
his
Harvard
stream. Okay.
psychiatrist.
Please let him finish, and then you'll be able to respond.
Okay,
He is a
speak some
doctor.
more,
That
go
doesn't
on.
mean that everything he does on his stream is is medicine, right? That doesn't mean that whenever he's speaking to somebody and he gives him advice and maybe offers him some like tips that help him, whether it's relating to his faith or not, that he's doing medicine when he does those things.
Wait,
Right,
can I
so-
just as a quick counterpoint, because I don't think anybody here really believes that, including you, Doobie. If I was talking to somebody that was like a doctor and I started mentioning like, man, you know, sometimes I feel like I'm just really nervous all the time, and they start talking to me about like my pulse and whether or not, you know, I have hypertension, and they start suggesting like, well, maybe you should take an Advil once a day, blah, 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 blah. I'm probably going to see that advice as being like, well, this is advice from a doctor. It almost feels like he's like acting in the function of a doctor, right? Not just a random person. I think it's fair to say that most people will see Dr. K in a similar manner, no?
Yeah,
He's not
Yeah,
just
I
a
think-
random
I
guy
think
giving
that-
life advice. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the line is pretty blurry, right? For sure. And that's what I said earlier. I think that there are times where it seems like he did step over that line. right? But it doesn't seem like that's his intention. It doesn't seem like that's the majority of what his stream is. It seems like to me, like he is a doctor, he has these tools, but that doesn't mean, and he's seems to be very clear about like having. Not crossing a certain line, which is like actual like diagnoses or saying, hey, you should go take this medicine or talk to somebody and take this medicine because this might help you. Right? It seems like
Okay.
he's very clear about some of these lines that he just doesn't cross. Right. But in these conversations, yeah, I think the lines are kind of blurry, but I think that a lot of the blurry is from the other side. It's from people who maybe haven't interacted with a therapist or psychiatrist, and they're having the same kind of thought that if he is a medical professional, he is trained in this. So when I'm
Well, wait,
talking
hold
to
on.
him
Just
about
to
my
be
feelings,
clear, what Dr. K does from an outside perspective is basically indistinguishable from therapy, right?
yes,
We all agree with that, right?
yeah, for sure.
So how are we saying that, like, well, that's just people getting confused? Like,
Well, I think
Right.
I think I think that's one of the problems with people not having access to this kind of to like therapy or other mental health services, right? Because they see this, which is not therapy, right? He's not writing down diagnoses, he's not taking notes and planning out treatment
This is
plans for them,
bullshit.
right?
Ruby, there are
He's not.
Okay,
some
just a minute. Just a
there are
minute. Go
some
ahead,
forms
Adam.
of
Speaking for
therapy that they don't diagnose, though. Don't forget, like
yeah.
post-structuralist
Yeah.
therapy and feminist therapy, they are against diagnosis and they won't diagnose people because they believe it's some sort of like systemic like violence upon. Listen, I don't know. I learned about the post-structuralist counselors. Okay, they're an interesting bunch, but they don't diagnose people. So just saying, like there are
So
some therapists that
So
don't
maybe
diagnose.
That's
maybe
fair.
I
Hold on,
can.
Doobie. Dude, 1 second. Jeff, you had something to say?
Well, I mean, this is everything's pretty much gone in that same direction. But I'll say, basically, pretty much what Destiny said. It seems like Dr. K very much has a therapist hat and a not therapist hat, and during his stream, he's constantly slapping them on back and forth. So how could you call ChudLogic mentioning that he's bringing up Ayurveda in this context where he could either be wearing that therapist hat or not? How can you call that unethical? Or I'm sorry, I think you called it immoral. How could you call that immoral for him saying like, hey, you're wearing this hat sometimes and you're mentioning this stuff that seems like suicide. So what about that seems immoral to you?
Well, I think that it doesn't seem like his intention is to like push this Ayurveda shit onto people with the hat of like a therapist on or like
wait, does that
a
matter? Why are we even
psychiatrist on.
talking about that?
Well,
Does the
no, I
intention
think
matter there at
the
all?
yeah, I
outcome,
think
the
it
outcome
does.
is what matters.
Yeah, absolutely do think it
The out,
does.
the outcome is what matters,
Oh,
though,
so
right?
what's the negative outcome that comes from him like bringing up this Ayurveda thing and saying, hey, maybe you should
Okay.
meditate because
Well, no.
this
Oh wait,
helps
no.
you.
You don't know what you're talking about. Okay, this is why I don't want you to fucking go on and on because you've got no clue what you're talking about. I've actually watched the stuff that I'm talking about.
Please.
Okay. No, it's annoying. He's just been going on and on and on. Okay.
It doesn't
Let me
matter if it's annoying. Just please, just talk like everyone else is doing in the channel. Please read the room.
Okay. I'll try and calm down, but it is difficult. I'm halfway through my second energy drink. Anyway, here's the situation, okay? He doesn't just present it as, oh, it's my religion, do a bit of meditation, okay? He presents it as an added benefit over other psychiatrists. There's one clip that he says, I'm just like other psychiatrists, but I use Ayurveda.
Like, I shit you guys not. Like, I'm really not trying to toot my own horn, but there are people that are in my practice that have been on treatment for, like, have been in therapy and medication for anxiety for like 15 years. And within 6 months, we're taping them off of medication. They feel fantastic. Why? Is it because I'm a brilliant clinician? No, this is what I'm saying. I'm not actually any better. It's just I use tools that none of my colleagues use. I use Ayurveda.
Suggesting that he's better for doing so. He also has referenced a couple of times the scientific backing that Ayurveda allegedly has. And that is exceptionally limited. I think there was like one study which was a bit, we'd have to go into the details. We don't have a study off or whatever. But the point is there isn't like meaningful scientific evidence that backs up the idea that Ayurveda really does anything meaningful. And further to that, yeah, sure, there might be some tools from it that we can use in normal medicine, but then it gets assessed through the scientific method and it just becomes normal medicine. So you don't need all this Ayurvedic bullshit. Meditation stuff, fine, implement that or whatever. But this extra, the angles he's going at with it is crazy. And when you consider he is on a board which investigates and researches Ayurvedic medicine, I think it suggests at least somewhat that he does have an interest in it beyond just being some religion that he wants to push on people, which I've never said it, by the way. Clearly he's seeking some sort of scientific basis or proof for Ayurveda, so it justifies his use of it in some way.
Sure. I want to say something really quick, Chud. Someone in my chat pointed this out. The sentence that I'm like any other psychiatrist except I use this is not an implication that it's better. Couldn't that just be a distinguishing factor?
Yeah.
No,
Come
on,
on.
guys.
What is
What?
Wait, no.
okay?
Hold,
Hold
This
wait.
on,
endless
why
generosity
not?
to Dr.
Genuinely.
K is what annoys me, right?
That's
Endless
a ridiculous. That
generosity.
implication is obviously like, oh well, I'm just like any other ex, except I also use this. The implication being that using that is going to give you some added benefit. That's
No,
obviously
does
the
it imply that?
implication.
No, it's
Right.
not.
Because
No,
he's leaning on his
Why?
popularity on Twitch.
no, it's not.
Well, why else would you use that thing if it
Yeah.
wasn't giving you some added benefit? Is it literally
Because
just
you're
a random?
distinguishing. It's just distinguishing yourself as like, I also use this. If you like it. And I don't think it's implying that he's better.
Who here has seen the clip? I have.
I have not. I
Okay,
was saying the
you've got a lot of
sentence in and
fucking
of
opinions
itself.
for a clip you haven't even seen, haven't you?
Chud, man, I was responding to the very sentence that you said as the chat did. That's all I'm going off of. I haven't seen the clip. Would the
Yeah.
clip provide more context that I'm
Of
missing?
course it would. I bet the person in chat hasn't even fucking seen the clip either.
We haven't. So then can you tell us what's missing in the context aside from the sentence that you
Well,
read?
what more context do you need? I mean, you can go and watch the
Well,
clip
if there's
by all
obvi-
means, but clearly what he's saying is, I'm like the other psychiatrists, but, you know, I use Ayurveda. Like, clearly it's saying, like, I'm like any other psychiatrist, but I've got this extra beneficial step that I use to improve, like, the health outcomes or whatever.
Okay,
Like,
well, I
that's
guess
clearly the
maybe to some of
implication.
us,
I think
I hear
baked
you. For
into
some of
that
us, it
is,
doesn't seem that way.
yeah, I think baked into that is you're watching him, you think he's a good therapist. So the thing that sets him apart is the Ayurveda. Because otherwise, he would just nobody's watching him thinking, yeah, this is a pretty mediocre therapist. This is a pretty normal therapist. They're watching him thinking, oh, this is a therapist that's really really good. What's making him really good? And he's saying, yeah, I'm basically like all the others, except I'm using this, which seems like this is the defining factor as to why he's so skilled, which is why you're watching him.
I think that's a
I
really uncharitable read of that statement.
Yeah, but I think
that's
also
pretty
like aren't you
straightforward, to be
project like
honest.
it could be projecting though. Like it could be projecting that you're assuming though that like he's trying to imply that like he makes him better or something.
Sure.
You
I-
sure?
yeah,
Why would you bring that up if it doesn't make you better? Why would you ever even say it?
Because
To distinguish yourself?
it distinguishes him.
Yeah, but
It's like kind of different.
distinguishing on its own is not necessarily good, right? Like, hey, I play football. Also, I only have one arm. Like, do you want me to be on your football team? That's not like, well, hold on. I don't know if I want a one-arm football player on my team. That's kind of spooky. Not to be.
So I don't think a lot of
offending.
people would like the Ayurveda stuff. So I don't know. I don't think a lot of people would like it. So I guess I kind of assume that's why he's like kind of making that point, sort of. Like, and some people do like it.
Yeah, but I
don't
think
know.
the way that he tries to present it, what Chud's getting at is that he tries to present it in like a very secularized, like legitimized by science way, and that's the
Oh, I
issue that Chud's
see.
having it. Yeah, we have to draw
Yeah,
a distinction
that's
between
fair.
the two. Yeah, like him doing the thing on stream where he's like, "Hey, I'm going to talk about this. If that makes you uncomfortable, then we don't have to do that." That's fine. I don't think anybody has a problem with that. It's when he talks about like on stream, like
That
the
cause
Ayurveda
depression.
can predict like some medical outcomes or whatever. That
Like
things
Yeah.
get a
I
little
shit
bit
you
more
guys not.
weird.
Like I'm
Yeah.
really not trying to toot
So
my own horn.
maybe
but
maybe this
there are
would
people that are in my
settle
practice
Chud's fires a
that
little
have
bit. So
been
Chud, what
on
would
treatment for like
so
have been in
regarding the
therapy
like
and
the Ayurveda
medication
thing,
for
what would he
anxiety
need to do
for like
for you
15
to like
years. And within
drop
6
that
months,
that issue that you have with him?
Sorry, where can I put this link and you can watch it yourself and then you can decide. If you don't think I'm representing this accurately, I'm happy to put the link in somewhere. You can watch it.
Sure. I mean,
I'll
I'm
put
not.
it
I don't
in the
think
chat,
you're
I
lying
guess.
to me, right? So I don't think you're lying to me. So I'm sure it's going to say what you said it said. But so
Sure.
what would he need to do to like that would like satisfy you or your issue with it, the Ayurveda thing?
I think that my main issue with it is he is pushing this pseudoscience which hasn't been proven in any way to meaningfully work, and he's using his credentials that he's gained from Harvard to push it. And I think that that's wrong. I think that it's a very common strategy that you see, and you see it, for example, and it's not the same thing, obviously, but with COVID, you have people that talk about COVID, and they say they're a doctor in order to lend credence to what they say, but sometimes what they're saying isn't necessarily true and could be complete bullshit in some cases. So it's I think an attempt that's being made to lend credence or credibility to it. So in terms of what you should do, I mean, you probably shouldn't push unscientific methods or whatever, talk about them on stream publicly, whilst presenting himself as a doctor, a Harvard-trained psychiatrist.
Okay, so if he'd agreed not to bring up the Ayurveda thing at all anymore on stream, would that satisfy you?
I know that he's already done a stream where he said he's taken a step back from it. There are a few problems with that, though. So the content still remains up where he says all this bullshit. So what's going to happen with that? And people coming to that content fresh aren't going to know that it's been retracted because it happened on a stream in like a minute clip that I don't think has gone up anywhere, to my knowledge. Maybe it has, but to my knowledge, it hasn't gone up anywhere. Yeah, and whilst he says he's taken a step back from the healthy gamer stuff, that's fine, but he is still calling himself a doctor, still calling himself a psychiatrist, and it looks like in his private practice he's still pushing Ayurveda. All the references to Ayurveda are still on his private website, his private practice website. So, yeah, I think those are things that probably need to change, really.
Okay, Anna?
So Chud, you wouldn't have a problem if, like, say, I don't know, I don't know, a therapist or psychiatrist in their office had like all kinds of Christian symbolism and stuff, and like, I don't know, like crucifix on their wall and stuff like that. Like,
Okay,
would that
okay. You're
bother
thinking
you?
Ayurveda is just like Christianity. It's not the same thing, okay? It's
Can
not
I?
the same
So
thing.
here, this is the equivalent of what ChudLogic is saying. Okay, so you guys all are acting like you're acting like I'm sorry, you're acting like Dr. K saying like, hey, I'm Christian. I believe that Jesus came back to life and all that. And I was just wondering, can I talk to you in this therapy about like some Christian stuff, right? And that's all he's doing. If that was all he was doing, I think ChudLogic would be like, yeah, that's fine. But the problem is, not only does he do that, he does a live stream where he's like, okay, guys, today we're going to talk about transubstantiation and how eating the bread and blood of Christ actually like can cure cancer. That's the part where it's like, okay, well, hold on. Now we're like reframing what was just like a kind of a lens to do therapy through, even like a way to share your faith. Now we're getting to like these scientific claims, and you're also like, you call yourself Dr. K, and you kind of wrap this all up into one big package, and now it feels like a little bit more weird. I think it's that crossing into the trying to secularize the theology and making it into like a more legitimate thing than maybe it should be treated as, is what ChudLogic is upset about.
Well, one of the things that's interesting is I guess I haven't watched that much of Dr. K's content, but I've never really seen him kind of ask for the like permission to go into like that. Well, I don't want to call it a religious context, because I think people say that Buddhism isn't a religion, or although I know he framed everything in a context of like he used to be some kind of monk, and then he kind of walked away from that life, and he did basically his whole path. It always did put me aback, because it did seem like he's doing the therapy thing, and then he couches in either Buddhism or Hinduism. I'm not sure exactly what it is. Not to be too too kind of blind there, but I'm not sure exactly what it is. It seems like he couches that into his how he speaks to people as well. And I take pause with that. Hmm.
Well, the thing
I'm not saying he's
is
necessarily proselytizing. Oh, but
Wait, 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 wait.
Yeah.
Go ahead, let him finish, Jeff, and then I got
Yeah, I was
something
gonna
to
say I don't think that he's necessarily proselytizing, but I think the idea of just like backdooring in your religion or your personal beliefs, even though it is a good context. I know I've definitely read articles that said like it's not just all pseudoscience, like meditation, and like it is exercising mindfulness, which is a healthy activity. But there seems to be other stuff that he's kind of linked to that kind of fall back on like either I can't tell if it's Hinduism or Buddhism because of my
Sure.
ignorance. But I feel like
So just to
Wait,
be
wait,
clear,
wait, 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 wait,
Mhm.
wait, 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 wait. Before we do that, you did
Mhm.
give us a link, and so what I'm reading from the chat, they're saying that this does seem to kind of prove you guys' point. I would like us all to watch it. Does everyone have the link to that clip?
yes.
So we're just gonna watch the first 10 seconds, I guess?
Like I shit you guys not. Like
Or
I'm
what
really
timestamp?
not trying to toot my own horn,
It's just
but
the start of the
there
video.
are people that are in my
Okay,
practice
so give
that
me
have
about 15
been on
seconds.
treatment for like have been in therapy and medication for anxiety for like 15 years. And within 6 months, we're taping them off of medication. They feel fantastic. Why? Is it because I'm a brilliant clinician? No, this is what I'm saying. I'm not actually any better. It's just I use tools that none of my colleagues use. I use Ayurveda.
Perfect. Okay. Listen, with that context, it's very obvious. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me let everyone finish it first.
You're good. Oh, well, I don't. I'm good.
Okay, I'm assuming everyone did. So, with that context, it does very much look like he is absolutely trying to say that he is better because of that. I was asking if maybe there was some of that context, and I was hoping you would be able to provide that for us, Chud, as the sentence you gave us alone doesn't
Well, I
necessarily.
just did. I
Oof.
gave you the video. I just did. I gave you the
Right.
video.
Thank you. I appreciate you for giving that, and I wish you could have just
It felt like
eloquent,
I was banging my head against a brick wall, so it was my only option left.
Well, I got you. Thank you so much for that, for giving us the context that we were asking you for. Does anybody here now, having watched that video, disagree that it does seem like he's using that as some sort of way of elevating his skill or whatever, something that does make him better?
Yeah, I think
I,
that seeing that clip is considerably worse. I just thought he was kind of insinuating it. That way, he pretty much just sold you it. Like, like
Yeah.
you could cut
He was
that for a
pretty
commercial.
direct about it, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was pretty aggressive.
yeah, I actually agree with Chud much more about that now. So my understanding of
There
this
we go.
prior to seeing that, because I didn't know he put out like a whole video series about Ayurveda, right? Like that's so what you're saying now makes a lot more
Yeah.
sense.
So sorry. Listen, I'll just explain. One of the reasons I'm a bit hot and frustrated about all of this is I did a video about this that I put some time into preparing, and when I speak to people, they haven't watched it, which is fine. But then they sort of question me on something, which is fine, I guess. But it's just frustrating because it's like, no, I've seen with my own eyes what's going on, and yeah, it's pretty fucked up when you start to look into it more. And sorry, I just want to say, apparently MrGirl wants in, according to someone in my chat. A few people in my chat are saying MrGirl wants to join.
I hear it. We'll consider it. I just feel like at this point the conversation has kind of started, and I just feel weird about adding people or trying to drop people in the middle of the conversation. But yeah,
Okay.
let's continue on, please.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, so then here was a question that I had. Actually, let me see. I'm sorry. I gotta pull it up on my notes. I had it. Okay. Um. Oh shoot. Actually, that was it. I think you guys have anything else to say on that topic? So it seems like we all did come to the consensus that that thing was wrong, right? And I think maybe if we can get maybe just a quick closer on that before we switch to the next portion. Does anyone feel it seemed like we all agreed, or everyone in this conversation agreed that the conversation itself, like as far as having these one-on-one conversations that very much mimic therapy to like pretty much everyone watching, that it seems like those things are inappropriate. Does anyone? There's no one that disagrees with that statement, right?
You know, I think we can make a stronger statement because
Sure.
I think we can make a
Please.
stronger statement. Well, I don't know. Maybe people disagree with me there. I think it does two things that I feel like nobody really mentions much. Well, I guess now that people are kind of now that MrGirl's video is coming out, I think people are mentioning a lot more. But one of the things I feel like people don't mention is I think it's harmful for people who has these one-on-one conversations with. I think there's not really a lot of conversations about how that harms them. I mean, it is mutually beneficial. They have a platform. I'm sure that there's some level of catharsis there. But I feel like just taking their personal issues and just like cutting a knife through that in front of everybody is not necessarily great for their mental health. Not to say that it's necessarily going to be that there are like negative ramifications that we can see from it. And I think the way that Dr. K approaches like publicizing these things gives people a poor view of what the mental health process is. I think a lot of people will end up going to that and then say like, okay, well, I need a therapist, or and then they'll just kind of go. And I feel like they'll have this idea in mind that they're going to go in for an hour and cry their guts out, and then they'll be a fixed person. Or worst case, like they feel like they're interleaving their own pain in watching these videos, and then they feel like that level of catharsis at the end of the stream, and then they'll be like, yeah, I guess I'm fine now, because yeah, I kind of cried it out with them too. And I feel like those things never really get talked about, and I feel like he's not necessarily the worst person in the world, but I feel like everybody kind of says like, oh, it's much more or less a good thing, but I feel like there's probably some negatives that we can talk about as well.
Okay,
Sure.
also to be fair to Dr. K, a lot of the things that a lot of the things that make a good therapist are also like just basic communication skills and basic listening skills too, which happen outside of therapy as well.
Yeah,
Just
and I think
saying, a lot of those overlap. So,
and it seems like he's very clear, at least in the stuff that I've seen about coming on and talking to him is not going to fix you, right? Talk to him 10 times isn't going to fix you, right? So like if he's being very clear about that, and he says that before people come on, the producer talks to this person, and they make that very clear themselves. Not therapy. You're not going to be fixed at the end of this. Yada yada yada, right? So if he's doing that work up front and repeatedly throughout the conversation, like how much of this is like on him, like what responsibility is there for the person to that who's being told this is not therapy, this is not help you fix all your problems? What responsibility is on them to accept that? Because it seems
Well,
like
none. That's the
something.
problem. That's the
Hold
issue. Is
on.
that like how
Really,
can
that goes to
somebody?
the second topic really quick. Before we go there, there's one more point that I wanted to make, and I promise you that is going to be in the next topic. I promise you. Um, First off, Jeff, I think you and I had a private conversation. In it, you mentioned some sort of I don't know, like
Okay, Mr. Girl's telling me to go to his stream. What is going on?
See if he goes for it.
What is going on?
Oh yeah, wait. Is no, there's no. I don't know where the call is at.
Like apparently
Probably
he's
in
just
the
been in
Discord.
a training program at a hospital that had a partnership with
leave that
Harvard,
shit
So,
and it's
sorry,
just like
Mr. Girl's trying to contact me. I think he's trying to call me. I think he really wants to get on the panel. Listen, it's your show.
Chud,
I
it's
just-
fine. We'll deal with it. Yeah, I got you, but we'll deal with it when afterwards. Please continue, Jeff.
yeah. So yeah, I find that because it just kind of feels like the only word I can feel like is cloud, like cloud charging, kind of weird. For like a professional setting.
Doobie.
But yeah, I had a cousin who
Sounds
like
like
went to a
Doobie. I
hospital
only heard it
and
for a
the
second,
hospital was
but,
partnered with Temple.
He
But
said
that's
to
not where she
consider
went
it.
to undergrad.
Yeah, well,
Like,
you know
she wouldn't
what?
call herself a Temple therapist. Or
Sounds like
you know,
Doobie's defending Dr.
it
K.
feels
for the
like
second I
he's,
heard.
like
Alright,
it's like
Chud
stolen
said
valor,
bro.
but for school.
I don't think he wants to do this.
I don't know. Maybe people feel differently about that. Maybe with the.
He
Wait.
training
said I want to
program
get you in on this.
So like, did he do
Then
like
leave
his
and say you'll come
interning?
back
I think he did his residency
with
there.
me
I think
if
he did his
that's
residency
cool.
at a hospital affiliated
Alright.
with Harvard. I think. Was it.
So he could still claim that then, right? Because he was trained
Okay.
by, right?
Listen.
Chud is gonna
I'm,
get
I'm
you
sorry
in.
to interrupt again.
I'm burning a bridge.
But-
I know.
Mr. Girl is very keen. I know you say we're going to deal with it, okay? And it's your show.
Okay, Chud. Yeah, I got you. Mr.
'Cause-
Girl will replace you after this. Okay, just go ahead and
Replace
finish
me.
this topic, and then we'll get to the next
Replace
one.
me.
Yeah.
What the fuck, bro? What are you talking about? Replace me,
I
bro. I don't give a
you
shit
just-
about your dusty ass panel. Get fucking Mr. Girl in here. Who fucking cares?
okay. All right, thank you. Or we'll replace you.
You replace me, okay? Fuck you, Fanatiq. How about that? Get fucked. Fuck you. Jesus Christ.
Hell yeah.
What the fuck? What is this bullshit about? I'm
I
gonna
don't
get
know.
replaced. What's he? I'm the fucking content. What's he talking about? Jesus.
I don't
sorry.
know. What's this guy's problem?
Welcome to Chud Nation. I don't know. I don't know what's going on, bro. I'm trying to get you in there, and then he's talking about booting me and replacing me with you. I'm like,
Well, he's gonna boot. No. We're a package deal.
okay,
There's no booting me.
okay,
There's no booting you. Absolutely. No.
okay.
Why would he boot you? Because you're talking shit to people?
So, okay, let me just kind of run you through what happened. I came in pretty hot.
Yo.
Yeah. Sorry, just one more minute. Well, this is dead air and it's frustrating me. So look, we'll just go ahead.
Destiny,
And,
how are you liking Total War?
I played it for 2 hours. It seemed okay. I'm playing.
You just sent
after-
me an invite.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
Okay, well, you're gonna have to bring me back in with you.
ChudLogic and Mr.
Okay,
Girl.
you're gonna have to say we're a
Yo,
package
Wicked
deal.
made a video with a
Oh, yeah,
psychiatrist
absolutely.
saying
Wait, how
it's
do I
a
get
foolish
you-
endeavor for
how
Mr.
do I bring
Girl
you
to
with
think
me?
he will lose his license.
You can't. You need
Thought
to,
you'd
I
want
don't know
to
how you're
have a
gonna do it.
look.
Wait, is there a way I can make your? Can we
You're gonna have
share the?
You're gonna have to go in there and say, "I will not talk." You're gonna have to do me a solid here and say,
Oh,
"I
yeah.
will not talk until Chud comes back in." Okay, I think that's the only way we're gonna do it. You're gonna have to slip in there through the back door and try and get me on. I don't know. It's your call. You do
So
what you need to
we're
do.
gonna go.
Hey,
What's up?
I have to take a stance here about ChudLogic.
We're not doing
It
that.
feels it feels immoral to replace him. So
Listen, unfortunately, that's the situation at hand. If that's not something that you can abide, then unfortunately, we just can't have either one of you in the conversation. It was more than just him doing that. I specifically told him, hey, wait, and we'll deal with that afterwards. He obviously
Yeah.
shows a complete disregard for me trying to ask him to like respect the panel. I can't really be distracted by that any further. If this is something that you genuinely can't abide, we got to move on.
he's a disrespectful person, but unfortunately, I have a. Steven, nice to see you. Anna, nice to meet you. If you could unban me from your chat, that would be. I appreciate that.
Probably not.
Okay, fair. I'm sorry about my headset situation. Something's wrong with my audio interface. Dooby, a pleasure as always. All right, well, this is it. Me and Chud we're like conjoined twins here. You gotta have us both.
Okay,
Is there anything I can say?
no, there's literally nothing you can say, and if you're requiring Chud to be here for you to be here, then I guess we'll just have to continue without you. I'm sorry.
What if I promise to only talk?
I can't. You can't make any promises.
I will only talk 50%
This
as
is not
much
something
as I
I'm willing
would
to
normally.
engage with. I feel like my time is being wasted, and it really is dead air. Can you please just go ahead and move on, or is that not something that you're capable of doing?
I really want you to reconsider this.
I'm not going to. Can you move on, or is that not something you're capable of doing?
I don't think it's something I'm capable of doing.
Okay, then unfortunately we'll have to move without you. Thank you for trying, though. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Alrighty, so let's move on. Anyway, so then the next topic that we were going to get into was Dr. K engaged in several one-on-one.
He said no, man.
What are we gonna do? Listen, if you need to go on there by yourself, do it.
No. I can't. After that, I can't go on about it. I took a stand. I said we're a package deal. We're conjoined twins. It's not going to happen.
Holy shit.
Okay,
Thanks
Stardust.
a lot.
Okay, we're starting our own panel.
Okay, right. We're starting our own panel.
Okay, I'm gonna
Do you know
call.
what we should try and do? Oh my god, we should try and get Destiny in on our panel.
Well, yeah.
Getting DMs from MrGirl and ChudLogic who are asking me
Please,
to
Destiny.
stand in solidarity, and I'm getting a lot of pressure here from all sides right now, Fanatiq. I'm getting pretty nervous. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Listen, I hear
But
you.
not,
I
but
hear
not
the
for
pressure.
me this time. Not for me this
I got
time.
it. Let's not go there. Destiny, genuinely, you see that what my energy was, what my intent was. It was very well
I'm just saying,
explained.
getting a
You know
lot of
exactly what's
they're
happening.
blowing up my
Please.
DMs, pushing me, threatening me. MrGirl says he might make his next video on me, so now I'm not. Chud also says he's gonna behave. Chud just explained to me he's been very off because the queen was diagnosed with COVID-19. He's really worried she's gonna die because supposedly she's immortal. I don't know if he's
Destiny,
actually.
I'm genuinely not interested in entertaining that conversation. Like, please, for the love of God, can we move the conversation forward?
Okay, I'm just saying that's.
I
putting that
got
out
you.
there,
I
okay?
appreciate it.
Wait, this is gonna be. It's gonna be us, Dan, Anna. Let's get Anna in here first before we start. Dan.
Hello.
I'm a little insulted at the amount of, I guess,
Hesitance.
motivation that was needed to have me bring in here, brought in here.
I'm trying to figure out the best. I'm trying to meet Anna under the best circumstances. We just had a pretty awkward interaction, and now, look, Dan, you're kind of a wild card. I don't know you. I'm a bit of a control freak. I like to have everything planned out. I thought I was going on this other panel, and now this is happening.
I'm pretty agreeable, honestly. I would say most people think that I'm a good time, fun guy to have around.
You're unpredictable and you're troubling.
Well,
Just like you, man. The two. Yeah, exactly.
I'm not saying that I'm any fucking better. Okay, if there was another MrGirl in there, you think I would drag him into the chat? No.
Well, you know what it is. Either
Absolutely not.
in each other, we can see great gains together potentially.
Or maybe we'll just be like
mortal enemies. I know there is no middle ground. I know that.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's what was the first one? Friends.
Sorry, Dan. Can I just could I just get some commentary on what happened over at Fanatiq's panel? Like, what's your take on all that?
Or it was? I'm gonna be honest with you. Me and my wife went for a walk right when you called his fucking dusty ass panel, and I said, "Fuck yeah, you go, Chud, you go, girlfriend. That's good shit."
I don't know. I got invited onto his panel and said yes, even though it's 1 a.m. Now he's talking about kicking me off. It's bullshit, I tell you. And what? Like, Destiny's still sat there. Like, what? I don't know. It just seemed like it was a circle jerk, and I was trying to bring some.
Does it? It seems like the lines are going to be blurry, of course.
Okay. I think that's a fair statement. So then, the next question is, given that there was these lines drawn, and it seemed like
Well, he probably feels bad or something for Fanatiq, maybe. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know him. Don't trust my opinion on anything.
I think it's more unethical to fuck like a squirrel than a pig. Like I do think we should draw a line at torture. But I don't know that fucking a pig really hurts the pig.
MrGirl, sorry, I just want to jump in and say, because I've got a little bit of knowledge, there's a little bit of bad blood between Anna and Dan. Maybe it's just worth hashing it out whilst we're here so we can move on.
Oh, Chud.
So we can move on. Is it so bad that I need to, like, step in and Are you guys going to be able to be in this panel together safely?
I think they can.
Stardust, I was not asking you.
Okay,
I'm
I'm
asking
sorry.
Anna and Dan. Do we need to flip a coin? Does one of you need to leave?
Well, I think Dan hasn't spoken
I'll
yet.
be
I think
fine.
Dan, come on. I think you know, what have you got to say, my friend?
Well, my wife doesn't really like me talking with other women, unfortunately. So I think it's appropriate that she should probably leave. Unfortunately, I've been watching the
what are
Twitter
you
discourse.
saying?
No.
Wait,
You don't
what
get
the
to
fuck? What are you saying about me? That I'm not a woman?
Oh, but you're brown. So.
Oh, so I don't count. Okay, all right.
Dooby,
Wow.
Jesus.
All right.
Dooby,
Just
you've been in
another
here
one of
for
those.
2
Thank you.
minutes already, and you're already being racist. Okay.
It's
We're
a
not kicking
compliment.
it. We're not kicking Anna just because you want to. Do you have any other arguments you'd like to make or anything?
No, I mean no other arguments. Just
Damn.
I'm about to fucking.
You haven't got much to say. You normally have so much to say about Anna.
Settle down a little bit, mate. All right, because this will all come fucking flying back to you someday when you have shit coming on your end, and you're like, Dan, can you really help me? You're gonna be like, fuck, I shouldn't have done.
Dan,
I shouldn't have done that.
Okay,
That's
listen,
what's gonna
whatever
happen.
Dan wants, give it to him. Okay, that's my new position.
I'm
Continue.
just playing it by ear, okay? But if you want the well, I'll tell you right now, you're not going to get the fucking beaten down fucking answers you want to hear. You get out of Destiny for any conversations like that come up. You get the God's honest truth out of me. That's it. There ain't no abuse victim here. I'm a man. I'm thinking what I'm thinking.
Men can be abuse victims.
Yeah, they can.
That's true. That's true. Thanks for taking kind of wind out of my sails there. I appreciate that. I'll make sure to be completely fucking literal and not make any jokes or any euphemisms or anything like that moving forward. I am a person who... Anyways, where were we? All right, good.
I think it'll be easier for me to understand what's happening if that's the route you take. Anna, do you have any? You all right with this?
Yeah.
Okay.
As long as Dan plays nice.
Okay.
I can't promise that. I'm a vicious individual.
Anna, can I ask you about me being banned in your Twitch chat as kind of like the starter for this discussion?
Does that bother you?
Oh yeah, I don't like being banned. I've never said anything. I could understand if I had said something and then you felt a need to ban me, but a preemptive ban, I was just like, well, let's see. I've never seen Anna's channel. I clicked on it, and then it was like a big message saying I'm banned.
Yep.
Do you care to comment on that?
Oh, yeah, I don't like you.
Well, not liking me is one thing. A lot of people don't like each other, but you don't. Or does that mean you ban anybody you don't like, or you think there's a specific? Is there like a reason to ban me?
There's specific reasons.
Can you enumerate them?
The cuties thing, for one.
See, I knew it right there. She said the reason, and I was like, you know what? I know the reason.
Okay.
Dan, shut up.
Okay, cuties. Is there more? It's just cuties.
I don't like the edgy, like the edgelord shit. Also, I don't like that. I don't think you're a very sensitive person. It just doesn't seem like that.
Edgelordness. Anything else?
Yeah, I think that's about it.
You look weird without your beard.
Sorry.
We're doing the silence thing. It doesn't work so well without the beard, MrGirl. I've got to be real with you, okay? You need to get that bad boy back as soon as possible.
These are just tearing into him. Poor guy.
No, I'm saying he's a handsome man. He's more handsome with a beard. That's it.
Okay.
It is a bit shitty though, isn't it? Because once you shave your beard off, I've got a beard. You can't get it back, can you? You've got to wait for it to grow. So, if someone feels a bit self-conscious about it, I don't know. Maybe that was a harsh comment.
Since
Think
we're all
about it
going
like this.
around telling MrGirl what we think he could do better.
Yeah.
Dan, do you have anything to say?
No, I gotta be very careful with my words, lest I be an abuser and you start crying. So
Fanatiq wants to talk. Fanatiq wants to
Wait,
one
me?
step at a
Me?
time.
Fanatiq.
Oh wait, was that Stardust?
Is there
Sorry, I
one?
wasn't watching the thing. Is that you, Stardust?
Wow,
to-
you're just mixing us up. Okay.
Eh.
All right.
Same thing.
Racism and
I thought
sexism
one-
already.
5 minutes ago, I'm not even a
somebody-
woman, and now
somebody
you're
invite-
making this up.
Well, just all the dad penis talk, and I just kind of.
Wait,
Careful.
Fanatic wants to get in. Send him an invite to.
Careful, Dan. I
to
might
this
start
Discord.
stalking you next.
Ooh.
Dan, you ever seen your dad's dick?
I think when I was younger, once.
Yeah,
Very traumatic
definitely.
incident.
You're not a fucking
You
liar.
think
Yeah.
You're
that's
not a
something. That's
fucking
that's
liar.
not something you
Like,
forget. Anna,
The
can I?
Vipers are.
You
Anna,
know,
have
you don't forget it because it's like you're like, it fucks you up a little bit.
Anna, have you seen
I don't
Cutie?
think it fucks you up. It's just like a date, you just part of life, You saw it
Yeah.
once.
Have you seen Cuties?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Chud,
What are we-
hold on. I know what I'm
okay.
doing.
Okay.
He's a one-trick pony.
Oh, I'm not interested in talking about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk about the edgelord stuff?
What about it?
Is there a level of edgelordiness that you are okay with, and can you describe what level that is and how far over the line you feel I've gone?
You do say a lot of inflammatory things. Yeah. I also kind of feel like you're acting like maybe a little bit of a bully with like the whole Dr. K stuff too, because you really want him to like lose his license, and I don't think that's right.
Okay, so this is a new topic. I don't think this is why you banned me from your chat, but do you want to give your
What
take
do
on
you
it?
think? What do you think the reasons are?
Just what you said.
Yeah, I forgot. Like, there's also the Dr. K stuff that kind of upset me too.
Okay. Would that alone have gotten me a chat ban, or is it like 2 strikes?
No, it's like everything, and also the fact that like there's a lot of people that are really triggered by you. I know that sounds bad, but
you gotta protect your chat from me. I see. Okay,
to some
Dr. K.
extent.
You want to give your Dr. K rebuttal?
Don't forget about Fanatiq.
Tell him to get in a non-waiting. I think is he in the waiting room? Tell him to get into any voice chat, and I can pull him in.
Well, I mean, you know that ethics boards are not in the practice of like just immediately revoking a license, even after like one overstep,
Yeah,
or like first offense rather.
Okay. Do you want to talk about the severity or the immediacy? I feel like you're bringing up 2 issues.
What do you mean?
You said they're not in the habit of immediately bringing up, like, he's done over 150 or maybe 140 of these interviews. So if each one is an overstep, then you could.
I
see
mean,
them,
like
you
a
could see
first
them acting.
offense. I mean like a first offense type thing.
But even
like
if you're doing 100 offenses at the same time, I would think that they would probably react more harshly than to just one, obviously.
yeah, maybe, but usually it's very rare that they revoke a license like the first time that you are presented. You have to go in front of an ethics board.
Well, the important thing to ask, sorry, Mr. Go, is your perception. What are you basing that on?
My perception, or Anna?
Sorry, your perception
About
what the ethics board are going to do. Like, where does that come from?
I think some of it comes from the emotional responses of people I know. Wait, also, did you tell Fanatiq to get in the voice chat? Because I don't see him in one.
Yeah, I've sent him the link to the Discord. I don't know if he's ignoring messages or what's going on.
I think he might be in the waiting room. I don't know how to pull him out of the waiting room.
Okay.
So tell him to get in a different voice chat if he sees your messages. If you want to. I know you're not my secretary. I just don't know how to
It's
handle
okay.
the
I'll
situation.
listen. I owe you one, okay? So it's all good.
Okay. Yeah, emotional responses from professionals that I've talked to, my own horrified emotional response. And then, like I told that story earlier about a doctor his license was reprimanded because he allowed a patient to email him a non-sexual picture of herself, and didn't reply back to her telling her not to do that. So my sense is that they're very strict about these kinds of relationship boundaries. So if they perceive these people to be his patients or semi-patients, or this to be quasi-therapy, and there's 100 of them, and he's on video saying he knows he shouldn't be doing it, I would think that could get a pretty severe response. Mr. Fanatiq?
Hey, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing quite well. I'm blessed.
Welcome to my dessert
Did
panel, my after panel, the after show.
Hello.
The real panel.
Absolutely. If you say so.
The late show.
So, bro, what
I
happened?
respect it.
You didn't want the content, it seems.
No, I didn't. I feel like I really tried my best to like completely like explain to you that like the goal of that panel is not necessarily like blood sports or any of that. I really want the conversation to be preeminent. Not that I'm aware of like how blood sports goes and all that stuff. I've obviously done it. I did it like over a year straight in Prime's thing. But I really do want conversations. And sometimes I feel like the blood sport, not sometimes, most of the time, blood sports gets in the way of that. So I was hoping there could be real conversation. And it
But then
seemed
why
like that
would
just
you-
wasn't agreeable to you.
Why would you invite a bunch of fucking assholes to be on the show if you want a real conversation?
Now you're just being rude. Fuck you.
No, it's fine. I
you're
think
an
here's the
asshole.
deal.
Come on.
I think if you really look at it, I think you can see that like while Destiny typically can be like a blood sporty kind of guy, and most of the thing you see him kind of subdue himself in that environment. And I guess it's just a matter of respect or intentionality. I don't know. But in those circumstances, like people kind of change that. And I think a lot of times it's not like that people aren't capable of being decent in most people's cases. I think it's just that normally the environment isn't conducive of that. But they do tend to switch that. And
Okay.
I think, yeah.
Here's the problem, though, right? Dooby is calling me unethical and immoral, and you don't expect me to take that like someone comes up and slaps me around the face, and I go, "Oh yeah, thank you for slapping me around the face." No, if someone's going to say some fucking bullshit, I'm going to get annoyed. I don't, I'm sorry, but I don't care about whatever the fucking rules are. If someone comes to me with that energy, and it's, Dooby wasn't being aggressive in the way he said it. But calling someone immoral is a big slight on someone's character, and I think it's legitimate to get pissed off with that and get a bit fucking, frustrated.
Absolutely. And I think frustration sometimes is 100% warranted. And I feel like if you thought that was a personal attack, which I agree with you, it seemed like it was a personal attack. I can see why you wanted to react in a very frustrated way. But I think given the environment, you don't like because someone disrespects you in a courtroom, you don't just haul off and shoot a guy or you don't haul off and whatever. You still need to read the room. And I think if your emotions in that scenario were such that you got so frustrated that you couldn't abide by the rules of the room, that you couldn't like contain like yourself enough to maintain your decency, then I think in that case, then maybe this isn't the environment for you. It wasn't like I was trying to like whatever side with Doobie or anything like that. It's just this is an environment. This is what we want. And if that comment was too antagonistic for you to be able to, if that statement was going to be such that it was going to force you to lose your decency in the scenario, then I guess then yeah, maybe this space wouldn't be for you in that
This is just
situation.
respectability politics then.
I think you have a sick fetish.
What's the sick fetish?
You're like a nun at a Catholic school who wants to spank the kids, and so you put them in a situation where you know they're going to be rowdy. The kids who don't get along with each other, there's too many of them. You throw like there's like 6 kids, and you say, "Oh, we have 4 donuts, only 4 donuts," and you throw them out in the middle of the floor, and then you just get your ruler ready and you just watch and you wait for the opportunity. That's what I think.
I hear you. That's absolutely not my goal. And I think that really what it boils down to is that there's only a limited amount of people on Twitch, right? And it's like, again, I don't feel like I had to do a whole lot to like contain Destiny in that scenario. I think him having been on the panel before, like, it's like, okay, he understands exactly what I'm going for. And just, I don't know if maybe it's out of just respect
He's
or
playing
whatever
League.
it
He
is.
don't give a fucking shit. He's just playing League.
Well, I've witnessed conversations where he's playing League where he's been quite aggressive. If you've played League of
That's 'cause
Legends
he's
for like
losing.
lots and lots of games like I have, and like anyone else that plays League of Legends, you know how incredibly frustrating that game is, and so how hard it is to contain yourself. Yet, despite him playing League, he was able to contain himself here. So it seemed like it might have been some form of his willpower that caused him to do so.
You're
And I
thinking
think
into this
that
way too
will to
deeply,
do
bro.
so would be based on
Doobie-
his respect.
Destiny don't
Doobie,
give a
I
shit
think
about that.
Dooby wants to say something.
Doobie,
Yeah,
go
I do.
ahead.
Okay, go ahead.
So when I was younger, I had an issue with impulse control, anger management. Um, and Chud, I think that's the issue. So I can understand being frustrated, getting a little rowdy internally, but when you express that anger, right? I think that's the issue when you express it in the way that you did. So I'm going to post something in your chat, Chud. Just some tips. You don't need to do them, but I think if you did, they'd be very helpful for you.
I'm not doing any of those tips. Let
It's
me tell
it's
you
in
what
your
it
chat,
is.
okay?
Let me tell you what it is. Now shut the fuck up. Let me tell you what it is, okay? I have spent fucking weeks speaking about this Dr. K fucking pseudoscience shit, right? And at the start, people tried to act like I was crazy. Oh no, he just uses it as like a tool or a lesson or something like that. And then when I started to dig into it, it turned out he was doing a whole bunch of crazy shit. Okay, a whole bunch of fucking insane shit, and finally people started to turn around to the idea that yeah, this guy's pushing pseudoscience.
You're
So
being
then
gaslit. You're being gaslit.
Exactly. And then I go onto a panel fucking 3 weeks after the fact. No one's watched any of my content about it, which is fine. You know, I don't think I'm some fucking big deal. But then people are asking me questions I've already answered in my content, and they're acting like, oh, you're crazy for getting angry about this. No, I've had to deal with these fucking idiots for weeks, and now I'm on a panel with people, you know, I respect, and I'm getting told I'm wrong, and I'm not wrong. I know that I'm fucking right. That's it.
Wait, so here's the deal. The thing was, one, I don't think it's fair to hold us to a specific standard or to punish us because of, I guess, the interactions you've had with other people on
Who's
Twitch.
punishing
One,
you? What, me
well,
getting angry is punishing you?
you're punishing us by getting cantankerous in a space where we've clearly defined what our expectations is, and everyone else seems to be
You ain't
trying
my
to abide by
fucking
the
boss. You ain't my
conversation.
fucking
It's
teacher.
not
You ain't my
about being a
fucking
boss.
parent. Yes, it
I
fucking
don't
is.
think
You say you're going to kick me off and
I
shit.
don't
You can get
think
fucked with that.
I
I'm not
don't
interested.
I don't think it requires me to be your boss to ask you to make an appeal to decency, which is what we
I don't
did in
give a
that
shit about
scenario.
decency.
Right. Okay.
Dooby.
Hi. So Chad, I watch a lot of your content actually. I actually listen to your stream a lot of times when I'm working in the morning. But to lead up to this panel, right? I watched MrGirl's video. I watched the Slush video, I think it is. I watched Dr. K's ethics video, and then for the last like couple of weeks, I've been watching people's streams and having discussions about it. I watched Destiny's discussion with MrGirl about it, right? I missed it, right? But in the videos that I saw, MrGirl's videos, Destiny's video, the Slush video, the Ayurveda thing was brought up and some clips were mentioned, right? But it wasn't at the level that you were claiming it was, right? So
Okay.
I wasn't aware of that. So when you
So
said,
you were
"Hey,
calling me
here's this,"
immoral for something you haven't even fucking seen.
wait, hold
Excellent.
on. Chud, you can't expect me to have every bit of information that's in
Well,
your
don't
brain.
call
I'm
me
sorry.
fucking immoral then, you fucking
So
idiot.
all you had to do, right? That's what you did. You said, "Hey, actually, Doobie, there's this video series that he put out about Ayurveda, promoting Ayurveda as healthy gamer, whatever the fuck," and that solved the entire problem. It's very simple.
Okay, well maybe you don't come in calling me fucking immoral when I've not done anything immoral, anything unethical. I've just pointed out what is in fucking Dr. K's content. That's all I've done.
I guess I just want to point out that if you have a rule against aggression in your panel, it could create a situation where people who are particularly good at needling each other kind of rule the world. So like I think Dooby does not really like come out and just like bark at you, but he's pretty good at getting people to flip out.
I don't think Doobie would disagree with that at all, and I think that's absolutely true. Again, I think some of those things can be addressed, but I do also kind of at the same time think that people can be mature enough to recognize that when someone's needling them, or if it becomes egregious enough that one, I'm going to step in and kind of stop that behavior. Two, that just because of the fact that you're being needled in that scenario, that like to react in that way to the like inset like to me pleading over and over again, please, 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 we'll try to reel this back in. But once you kind of set yourself apart, like, no, I don't have to respect that. No, I don't have to be decent. And then he didn't stop at Doobie. He then interrupted Anna when she was talking pretty early on in the panel. He then disrespected me, even though I wasn't doing anything to do that.
Yeah,
So
but
I
what
think
if you're all? What if you guys are all
Fanatic. Fuck you. How's that for disrespect? Fuck you,
What if
bitch.
you're all
that's
just?
cool. We're not
what
on
if
my
you're all-
panel
what
right
if you're
now,
all
so I don't
passive
care.
aggressive? What if you're all just passive aggressive though?
Well, the problem, I guess that's a good hypothetical. Fortunately, I wasn't being passive aggressive. Anna wasn't being passive aggressive. She had kind of barely came
That's
to the
no defense.
conversation
What
at
if
that
you
point.
are? What if you don't know that you're passive aggressive?
Sure.
What if
So
you
in
are?
the situation, no, I'm not, but I'm very aggressive. In the situations in which everyone was being passive aggressive, then I guess if that entire environment was that way, then it would warrant his reaction. Unfortunately, that wasn't the circumstances, so he had no reason to react that way. It
So
seemed
it's you.
really, really inappropriate.
You're trying to be the fucking boss, I'm not interested. I don't care about
I'm
your
going back to
opinion.
the spanking.
It was the Fanatiq panel. I don't know. I guess.
Dooby. 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 Wait, is anybody talking?
No, I think Doobie's microphone is muted.
Yeah, my mic fucked up for a second. Can you hear me now?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, better. Okay, cool. So I think that where it came to a head at the end, right? So I can understand being frustrated to start with me calling you unethical, but when you bring up that MrGirl wants to come on, and the Fanatic acknowledges that he heard you, right, and says, deal with that in a bit. And I think Fanatic's intention seemed to be to bring on MrGirl for the next topic because we were like in the middle of the one that we are on, and you keep bringing it up, and he keeps telling me, hey, yeah, we'll deal with that later, and you keep bringing it up over and over again. I think at some point you're being disrespectful. You got to. He's acknowledged what you said.
It was boring.
He's
Everyone was
acknowledged what you
bored.
said. So you
Everyone was
just
bored.
be a little bit patient. Like I don't know.
Do you think that boring justifies your disrespect?
Yes, absolutely. I do it again.
Okay, so then I got you. So then what this obviously exemplifies is that there's just a problem of indecency with you that obviously that makes us incompatible.
A problem of indecency. Who cares,
Absolutely.
man? We're on fucking Twitch.
I got
What are
you.
you talking about?
I care, and that's why I had to remove you.
But that's
you didn't
where
remove me. I
spanking.
removed myself before you could. Fuck you.
Okay, well that's why you needed to be removed from that, and I'm glad that you did that,
That's
so
where
I
my
didn't have
spanking
to.
fetish theory comes in, is that people aren't going to be decent, and then you're asking them to follow rules that.
I've done 5 of these panels, and I've only had to remove one person. So obviously, most people can be decent. He's the only person that couldn't thus far.
Dusty.
Too hot for Fanatiq panel. Obviously, it was bound to happen.
I just wanted to say that I feel like Dooby made a pretty good joke when he was telling ChudLogic to check out these methods because the link that he linked was an Ayurveda link. Oh.
Nice.
I completely ignored it. I wish I clicked it. That's a good meme.
He's the best.
I'll give you that
He's
one.
the
That's a
best.
good meme.
Thank you for acknowledging my joke. Okay, I really worked out on that.
That's really good. That was good.
Okay.
I thought
do
you
you
were
guys
just being
feel like
condescending, but no.
Do you think we've aired out every side of this moderation? I think I've said my piece, certainly.
Absolutely. One last thing I want to say to you, MrGirl.
Sure.
Genuinely, I obviously intended to bring you on the panel. I asked you early, like I think around 11 or something.
I know.
Could you be on the panel? It wasn't like I was sitting there, but what I was recognizing was, to me, it felt like ChudLogic. My interpretation of the situation is that ChudLogic was being incessantly disrespectful to the panel and disrespectful to me. And so
I
then
think I may have encouraged him to do that.
Okay, and that's very possible. But then
Yes.
once he's done that, so then when I finally ask him, like I'm attempting to remove him, but he removed himself, thankfully, because I hate having to do that in any capacity. Once he removed himself, and then you came onto the panel, then it was like, hey, I really wanted you for this conversation. Clearly, you were involved. Clearly, I watched your video. And so then once you did that, it felt almost like you were tangentially disrespecting me as well, because it almost seemed like you're lumped in with the ChudLogic thing because you're championing the guy that disrespected me.
At a certain point, I gotta choose my allies, and I chose Chud. And
Sure.
from your point of view, that might not be a very good decision, and I was prepared to live with the consequences of that.
Absolutely, and I appreciate that, and I hope that you don't take that personally. I hope you can understand my reasoning behind why I felt the need to just go ahead and move on with the conversation.
I understand that it's strictly business.
Okay, absolutely, man. Well, I wish you the best. I hope there's no hard feelings.
No hard feelings.
Alrighty, man. Peace out.
I appreciate you stopping by.
Yep.
All right, Anna. So edginess. What's the deal here? You said
Mic's quiet again. You need to sort your mic out.
Oh shit. Anna, you're talking about edginess.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you think
the
is
whole?
Yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, the whole cuties review thing. I mean, you really didn't. I mean, you knew that you would get so much backlash from that, right?
Actually,
you knew
that's
how
not
you
true.
would be.
You know what?
No.
It's no, because I think it's like a hindsight's 2020 thing. I had said some pretty weird stuff on my channel already at that point.
Yeah.
I said
You've got some weird stuff on your channel that's a little sus. I have to admit that I didn't like.
I think I'm admitting it right now.
Yeah.
But I didn't get any backlash. Nobody. I was shouting into a void for 4 long years. I've been putting little ships in bottles and tossing them out into outer space in the hopes that they would land on someone's shore, and that was just another one. So I thought I was talking only to my own fans. I didn't know
Mm.
that anybody was going to watch that.
Yeah, that makes sense then. That's understandable why you kind of yeah. I get that.
You know, I was like, I want to give the most honest review that I can. I've got no pressure on me not to. There's no reason for me to hold back because I'm
Yeah.
not making any money. I don't have any fans. Nobody knows who I am. So I'll just.
Oh.
So I had
Yeah.
1,700 subscribers or something. So I turned on my mic. I sat down. I just let it all out for 2 hours. Oh no, not 2 hours. Maybe half an hour or something. Actually, my ranting was about the same length as my review. I cut out a little bit, left most of it in, and posted it.
Yeah.
I was not thinking like, what do I want to say to 500,000 people? It definitely was not. Like
I actually completely empathize with you now, like even more now that you actually said that, because I've done similar, like I've done like similar things where it's like I've like been streaming and like I just assumed like, yeah, only the 10 people are watching me right now, and then it wasn't that happened.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
so I
And then,
get it.
yeah,
I
anything you
actually
say could be-
completely get it. I completely get it. Yeah.
My chat is pointing out that I would do the same thing again. I would, but yeah, I would. I would do it all over again if I could.
You would?
Yeah, I'm not saying I regret what I said. I'm just saying that I think that there is a in temptation to interpret it as like I said it because I wanted the reaction I got, but that I was just trying to review the fucking movie.
Yeah. There's still some other like I mean obviously this doesn't completely change my my
I'm not expecting
opinion
to
of
change
you.
it.
It's
I just wanted
yeah.
to talk about it because I was interested.
That's totally fine. Yeah.
I tell you what, you make one video where you say a bunch of 10-year-olds are hot, and you get called a pedo. That
I know.
sure says a lot about society.
It really does. People are very unforgiving, shallow people.
Do you know what it is, right? It's funny how sensitive people are about pedo shit. I mean, who would have thought it?
I think I might make a video about this, like a deep dive.
No, don't do any more about the pedo shit. You've done enough deep diving as it is, okay?
Please
Like, come on,
stay
man.
away
For
from
the
that.
opposite route, you should go about like dudes who chase like older women, but like really older women. You know,
I think I'll do the. I think
Oh,
I'll do
no.
the
like
pedophile.
gum
Do a
jobs and
video
stuff.
how
You
you
know?
think the age of consent should be 30. You need to repair your image, bro. I'm telling you, okay?
I think the age of consent should be 17.
Oh
That's
God.
pretty reasonable.
Oh,
What's wrong with
reasonable.
that? We're 16 over here. Come over for a holiday, MrGirl. You have a fucking great
I
time.
keep
Oh my
so
God.
I live in Oregon, but in
It's not
Washington
even funny.
in Washington the
Not
age
funny.
of consent is 16. And so I keep proposing to Jimmy. I'm like, what if I did a video where I went on a date? I'm not like not contact, but like what if I did a video where I went on a date with a 16-year-old? Cuz it's legal there. And I don't know about the legality of putting that on like YouTube.
Okay,
And
are
he
you
was like,
really
"Is it-
want to? You really want to do?
immediate shutdown every time I propose
You
it.
you really want to be Onision? Really? Because this is the shit
No.
Onision has done. Like
me what-
move to another state to like fuck a 17-year-old because like oh well it's legal in that state.
No, I just want to make some social commentary. I don't want to be
Yeah, I think that actually might be illegal. So in a lot of the states that have like this, the age of consent is 16. It's actually,
Wait, it's not illegal
within
to
like a
go.
certain
It's not
age.
illegal to get ice cream with a 16-year-old.
Yeah, but if you say a date, I mean that there's like an implication there, and I don't know. Again, I don't know like the total like legality of that specific state or whatever the fuck.
Well, let's say
But I'm saying
for the
if you were to
purpose-
actually have sex with this person, it would.
Well, I'm not
probably
talking about
be
having
illegal.
sex. I'm not talking about having sex. I'm talking about doing a social experiment of like, what does it mean that we're saying that this person is like mature enough to enter into a romantic or sexual relationship with like
What?
me?
This is why I don't like you.
Okay. Can you be more specific?
The pedophile thing.
Yeah, I know, but Dan, I get why. I would like to hear more.
Wait, why would you think that's a good idea to do? Like people are extremely sensitive about protecting kids and I'm one of them.
Well, do you
I'm
think
one
the
of
age of
them.
consent in Washington should be raised?
I mean, yeah, it should be 18.
Do you think? Okay, well, but wouldn't that get the conversation started? I think that if you see
And
me,
are you
if you see me, if you're in 4K, forced to watch me have a cappuccino with a 16-year-old, maybe that might inspire you to write the local representatives.
I'm curious. Do you think
I
the same reaction would happen with like Dan, for example, going on a date with an 18-year-old, right? Like, do you think we could have the same kind of reaction from people?
Or
What's
a
a
better
weird thing where-
example. Hold on,
Yeah.
a much better example is like, let's say that you were 32 and you were going on a date with someone who was like 21, or even getting married to that person. Like, think about that.
It's very sus. Yeah.
Shaylin is 10 years younger than me. That I was 34 and she was 24 when we met. That was already
Well-
pretty weird.
why am I not surprised?
Because you think I'm an
I
abuser.
mean, my dad married my mother when she was 16 and he was 22. So I guess it's like, people are sus sometimes.
Do you know what the research says about relationships where the age gap is 10 years plus?
No.
What does it say? I'm actually very interested in this as well.
Yeah, relationships where with age gaps of 10 plus years are twice as likely to be abusive. They
Mhm.
also are there's also a heightened even like I think it was is it it's like there's like an even like more chance that they end in divorce. So it's like really it's quite negative. Yeah.
Well, let's try to get to the marriage part before we start foaming at
Well,
the mouth.
how old is Destiny? He's like 32 or something, right? How old's Melina? 21?
You know what? I don't want to talk about that.
Oh, I
was
like
just-
Melina.
Well, no, I think
She's a
Dan's
I don't
sweetheart.
want to talk
Dan's
about
raising a
that.
good point
I
there. I
don't.
think
I don't
I
want.
mean,
You know
Mr.
what?
Girl,
You
trust
know what,
me.
Anna? I'm gonna. You know what?
Oh, for
You
fuck's
banned me
sake.
from your chat. I'm not gonna platform you talking about that.
Mr. Girl, trust me.
What,
This
me?
is-
Talking
this
about
is-
what?
This is the convo we need to have.
No, I don't want to
Talking
have
about
it.
what?
I'm not hosting it. If you want to.
Oh, you turn into
on your
Fanatiq. You're
channel.
trying to fucking spank me like a Catholic school person. What's that
Wait,
about?
I'm just confused.
Girl,
Wait, what did I
you
do?
can say
I just said I
You
like
don't wanna
I
get
like
flamed.
Melina. I get along with Melina.
I don't
We're
want to
fine.
talk. I don't want to talk about Destiny. and
Yeah.
Melina.
Yeah, I don't either.
Well, okay.
Great. Great. So
We
let's
don't have to
move
talk
on.
about the personal details of it, but like, just okay. Let's imagine there's a streamer. Okay, they're absolutely terrible.
I'm imagining
at league. They're absolutely
No,
terrible.
I
at
don't
league.
wanna- I don't
Desperately
wanna-
trying
I
to
don't
get
wanna
into
do it.
Diamond. They're called
I
Tip
don't
for
wanna do
telling
it.
Fanatiq to
Okay.
get fucked. Tip for telling
I don't wanna do
Fanatiq
it.
to get fucked. Tip for telling Fanatic to
However,
get
we-
I mean,
fucked. Tip
I'm
for
not the
talk
one
about
that
my-
Fanatic
brought
to
your
get
that's
relationship
fine.
up.
That's
telling
fine. We
Fanatic
can talk
to
about
get
my
fucked.
relationship
Tip
though.
for telling Fanatic to get
Divorce,
fucked.
yeah. Abuse, yeah. I see what you're saying. It's
Yep.
hard when someone's at such a different life stage, but romance, like a romantic relationship, and sex are different.
Okay.
Huh?
Like I think there's less of an impetus to abuse somebody if you're having like a one night stand with them than a relationship.
What does this have to do with the age gap thing?
Wait, I'm curious. So Mr. Girl, earlier you said that when you were talking about this idea, going on a date with a 16-year-old, and I said, hey, well, if you have sex with her, it's still illegal. And you said, oh, well, it's not illegal to go out for ice cream with a 16-year-old.
You want to talk about the legal? Oh, why is it
That's
illegal?
true.
Why
No,
is it
hold on.
illegal?
No, wait. There's a follow-up thing. So what if when I do it with like a 14-year-old? It's probably not illegal to go out with a 14-year-old to get some ice cream, right? So why not do that?
Because I want to, as I often do, bring attention to a gray area where on internet land, the idea of even showing sexual interest in a 16-year-old is punishable by death. You're a pedophile, you're an abuser, you're a groomer, whatever. But I think in like half of U.S. states, you can actually have sex with a 16-year-old and it's legal. And so
Not necessarily. Don't forget, there's a lot of states where it's like it'll be 16, but like it's within 4 years. You know, that's how most of the states are.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, it's like you
I
can't
don't, I
be
don't, I don't
over
think that's.
4
I don't.
4
I don't.
years
Okay.
older.
Are there states where you can have sex if you're 16? I believe where I grew up in Massachusetts. If you're 16, you're good to go. That's my understanding of the law there.
I think you can get married to some 14-year-olds in some states, apparently. I don't know much about it.
Yeah, the Romeo
Okay.
and Juliet laws. Yeah.
So, my point is, there's a gap between our understanding, our moral understanding of consent and age of consent online, which seems to align more with terms and conditions of the various companies that host us, rather than our like touch grass sense of morality in the real world. And I like to mix those two, and without actually doing anything too potentially horrible, bring attention to and start a conversation about one of these issues. So that would be my reason for it. It evokes the idea of like, is it weird that I'm legally allowed to enter into a sexual relationship with this person without me having to actually do it to make the point?
Okay, but I've got a question. What if you and the 16-year-old really hit it off, and you fall for each other, and you want to continue on with the relationship?
Yeah.
This is weird.
What?
This is weird.
Yeah, it is weird. I agree.
This is really weird.
Yeah. No, you guys are weird. Wait. What if we really hit it off? What about Shaylin?
Well, you know, the love was so deep that you thought, wow, forget that. You know, pastures new.
I think, I'm not with Shaylin because I think she's the best person for me at all times. I think when you love somebody and you commit to them as strongly as I have to Shaylin, you know that there will be moments where you think that they're not the best person for you. It's not, you're not saying like, oh, I happen to have found the best person in 8 billion. You know? You're tied to that person and you love them for who they are. No matter how many 16-year-olds might come your way.
Good Lord.
But in a hypothetical where Shayla's not around, geez, I don't know. I think that might just be a age gap that is just too big. Now, in my own non-defense, I will say I said the same thing before I met Shaylin. I was like, I'm not dating anybody younger than 27. 27's my limit. No, I will hook up with somebody 18 or over, but I'm not gonna enter into a relationship because it's too weird. There's too much of a power imbalance. We're in like different life stages with anyone who's younger than 27. And then
it's too early for a response, Don, if I'm absolutely honest, because this has come out of nowhere.
Okay.
This speech
like an 18-year-old or something. Just out of curiosity, like what was your reasoning behind that?
I'm not saying out of care of the 18-year-old. That's more for myself. Like I don't think it's going to be good for me to date or marry an 18-year-old. That just seems like self-sabotage.
Oh, so there was no concern for
other people.
The other person?
No.
I mean, I think that's fine. I mean, typically when I would get into like a one night stand, I'm not really worried about the emotional well being of the other person.
That's the whole point. You're fucking.
I just want to put my dick in them. Like that's about as far as that goes.
Yeah, Dusty, were you gonna say something?
So yeah, I was going to say it's kind of past the point now. I guess I can make 2 points.
Let's rewind.
First point. Okay, so first point I would say in regards to what you guys are saying, yeah, when you get into like a hookup with somebody, generally like neither party really cares about the emotional well-being of the other person, especially since it's going to be so temporary. The second thing I was going to say is that
that's not true.
Well, yeah, it's not true in every case. You're right about that. But I think in like a lot of cases it's true. You know, I think in a lot of cases you know you're not going to see the person again usually, right? But there are some cases, sure. And then the second point I was going to make is that for a while I used to think like maybe we should raise the age of consent to like 21. But then somebody brought up a really good point to me about that, saying that when you raise the age of consent to 21, you're kind of raising the age of the minority, right? So like, so now a 21-year-old can like date a 13-year-old, and I don't know how I don't like that.
No, you can do. I think what they do in Massachusetts. I mean, if my memory serves, I think it's like 3 years if you're under 18. So it's not. They don't just do. You can't be 16 and 12. You know.
Okay, hold on. I'm still like I'm still like just stunned by what Stardust said. I'm sorry. I'm sitting here like, wait, what?
Which part? The first one?
You're saying that people who like have a one night stand normally don't care about the emotional well-being of the other person?
I think they don't care to the extent like that a friend would care. Maybe, you know,
Well,
like
I think you're.
But
saying
how
that,
do you
that
have
they-
sex with someone then?
What's this?
They look very similar to therapy. It's
Okay, my goal is to break Chud by the end of this. We'll break him.
difficult to say whether the participants like genuinely fully
Why did he want to break me?
Physical or emotional interest to do so.
like we've all been
Why?
fucked. So here's it. We've all been fuck zoned by somebody, right? Like we've been fuck zoned by a guy.
Wait, but Destiny was like backing me up pretty much the whole thing. What does that? What happened there?
Oh.
Because like so when you're fuck zoned, it's like, oh, you're like interested in this guy, but he's like only interested in fucking you, right?
Yeah,
That
so he's
happens a
only showing
lot.
up at like 1 a.m. Right, fucking you
Yeah.
and leaving.
He's only calling you when he's high, you know?
Text you
So.
once every 3 weeks.
Oh,
Yeah.
but no, that makes them a psychopath. No, that's a
What?
psychopath.
No, it doesn't.
Well, then
Well,
maybe
we've got a
course
lot
it
of
does.
our
if
definition
that
of
makes a guy a
psychopath.
psychopath, that's a lot of people then, right?
That's too many people to call a
No.
psychopath.
I've never known anyone like that.
I feel like
That's
we just-
absolutely a psychopath. Yeah.
I think everybody here's been
That's
fuck zoned, right?
completely abnormal.
Dan,
Like even girls do that to guys, you know? They fuck zone them.
Yeah,
Dan,
some
Dan.
people just want to have people
Yeah.
bump their uglies, right? It's not that big a deal.
Dan,
Yeah.
can you?
No,
can you,
that's
can
not
you-
normal.
It hurts and it sucks,
gonna say
but I mean it happens, you know?
No,
Isn't it?
it's not normal to use people for one's own benefit.
I've had
If you're
sex.
mutually
I've
Incredibly
had,
normal.
I've had
People do
sex
that all the
in-
time in a non-sexual way too, right?
I've had sex in relationships.
That's usually like a part of the
even-
dark triad. That's like a part of the dark triad personality range. That's what they do.
Okay.
I've had sex in relationships where I knew that initiating sex with the other person was not in their best emotional or psychological interest at that time.
Why would you do that? I don't understand that.
Because
I would never do that to someone.
Well, I mean, yeah,
I was
mean,
excited.
I don't know.
What?
When I was younger, I may have been more likely to do that, but now that I'm older, I wouldn't do that. But
When
I
you
mean,
get
I
even
think,
older, you'll start doing it again.
Oh,
Chud,
Wait,
Chud, what were you
so
gonna say?
hold on, wait. So you're saying
Chud.
that you did
Yeah, sorry.
something?
What were you gonna say? You were gonna say something.
so
was
have
gonna
you
say
ever
this-
had a case? Here's an example.
Wait, I
Okay.
want Chud to say he
Well,
was,
aren't
gonna say,
you-
he was gonna make a meta comment about the conversation. I
I
want
was
to know
gonna
what it
say what this dark triad shit. Like I've heard so much about it. It just sounds like a load
Ayurveda?
of bullshit.
was. It's more pseudoscience, huh?
It could be. It could be.
No. I mean, it's just the name is weird, you know.
If I can have a chance to just explain, like I
Sorry.
think
I
girls do
I
this.
genuinely cannot understand. I'm sorry. I
So
literally cannot understand this.
let me try to explain it to you. Like without the sex, let's take out the sex, right? We've had male friends who've been sexually interested in us and emotionally interested, romantically interested in us, while we haven't been, and we've continued to be their friend, right? And we continue to benefit from that relationship, right?
Only if it's like you make sure like I don't know, like that's not
think we're
okay
in
to do as
denial.
long as you're not like leading
I
them
see.
on.
Yeah, so I agree with you. I don't think it's right to do either, but I think especially when you're younger, you're kind of in denial, and the last thing you want to do is say like no to a guy or tell a guy to go away, right? It's a very painful process to do that. So a lot of the time, like
It's selfish to not. It's selfish.
it is
to
selfish.
not.
I agree with you.
Sorry, I just want to ask Dan, what's your opinion on this dark triad business?
Why would you ask Dan? Dan,
I want Stardust
I'm
to
sorry.
finish the
Does
way.
Dan,
Hold on.
does Dan have his training? Has
Stardust
Dan
is trying to lay out something for us, and she's asking
has Dan
she's asking
gone to
rhetorical yes or
college
no
for
questions.
psychology?
But then
Have you?
Okay, listen.
Yeah, I'm in
I
my
want
program right
Stardust
now,
to explain
Dan.
this. Stardust, why don't you ask me
Program.
the yes or no questions, and I'll
Yes,
go
Dan.
along with your train of thought instead of
Well, I
derailing.
mean,
You want to
I
call
mean,
them, Dan? Want their number? I'll give it to you.
Oh, yeah, I think she's like the janitor or something here. She
Stardust.
keeps like trying to write on the fucking
Okay.
boards about stuff, but like no one knows what the fuck she's saying.
Just
It's
talk,
happening.
Stardust. Just go.
Okay.
Dan.
So
It's like Goodwill Hunting, except like you have no
It's
idea what you're talking about.
it's really to
talk
look.
over
It's
them.
really easy to look up that research.
If they
you
keep
know,
talking
know,
while
just
you're
Google
talking,
it.
Stardust, I'll just
I
slowly
know,
lower their volume.
it's hard, but
I'll just
okay.
slowly make them quieter and quieter.
Okay, so look, when we're talking about relationships in which people use each other, I think it's actually much more common than people want to admit. There are plenty of times where when I've been younger, where like I've known a guy who's been romantically interested, and I'm too scared to like confront that with him and say,
Yeah.
hey, like this is like I'm not interested in you like this, you know, like I can tell that you're interested in me and I'm not interested in you like this, right? That's something like in youth we've all done, right? A lot of girls have done that. So just like
Yeah,
that,
younger.
if we
But you're
yeah
supposed to learn to
yeah you do learn
to be a better
well
person.
Well,
I
Stardust hasn't
learned
Get
learned.
over.
Stardust didn't learn. Continue
no
telling.
I did. I haven't.
No, I don't know if you
Okay.
did. Stardust, tell your truth. Keep going.
Okay, so anyways, that's what I'm trying to demonstrate with this when I'm trying to explain to you. Like I know it sounds incomprehensible to you, but I think guys, you know, and girls do the same thing with sex, right? Where they will continue to have sex, continue to hook up with somebody who they know has feelings for them. But you know, it's sex, like it feels good, you know. So a lot of people just don't even broach it until it reaches that point where they have to, right? They don't even, you know, they should have cut it off way sooner, but they don't. So I think it's incredibly common, and I think, I mean, I personally I don't do that, but I have been in the situation where somebody's like been romantically interested when I was much younger, and I didn't know how to approach the subject with them. So I think it's very common. I don't think it's I don't think it's abnormal at all. Humans use each other all the time.
There's a
No,
term for
I
this
think
for
that's
guys,
an
right?
incredibly cynical view of humans. I don't know. I don't agree. I think that's a very cynical view of people.
There's
I
like
think
a
most
literal
people
term.
care about others. I think most people care about others, and I think most people are very empathetic and want
I
to
wish I
do
was
the right
that.
thing.
I wish I was not cynical then, because I feel like that's very abnormal for people to actually genuinely care about each other.
Isn't this just called like fuckboys? Like I
Yes,
feel like this is extremely
exactly.
common. Like
But there's
It's very
well,
common, yeah.
the
I
thing
mean,
is,
it doesn't even have to be sexual, right? Again, it can be like, even in a working relationship, you think you're friends with somebody and they keep pushing more work onto you. And you're like, oh yeah, you know, like, yeah, you know, yeah, totally, I'll do that for you. And then they keep pushing more work on you and pushing more work on you. And then one day you're like, God damn it, I need to have a weekend off. This person keeps pushing their fucking work on me. So, yeah. So,
welcome
One
to
time.
Chud
maybe
Nation.
go ahead.
I'll get really
Russia's
fucking
apparently doing
specific.
operations
But,
to
yeah.
demilitarize Ukraine.
I was dating this girl,
Yeah.
and I was really angry at her, because she wouldn't fucking listen to me,
Mhm.
and I was yelling at her about that. And she said, "Well," she was like, can you think of any way that like you might be able to like express that or like get that frustration out?" And I was like, for a second, I was like, it was like I was considering selling myself into sex slavery. I was like, yeah, what if every time I get mad, we just have sex, and like I never have to talk about my feelings again?
Based.
That sounds pretty dark triad.
Yeah, I was teetering on the edge of like, it was like a
Happiness.
deal. It was like I was being, it was like I was gonna sell my soul. And I think I went for it for a second. I think I started to initiate, and then I was like, no. please don't make me do this. And I stopped, and I was like, no, I actually need you to listen to me. But for a second, and so that was a time where she knew it would be harmful for me, for sure. And I knew it would be harmful for me. I almost did it.
I don't know if so I have like a story. I don't know if this would count, and I don't know who would be. So I was dating this one guy, and we'd been dating for like years. And we were breaking up, and we were both like crying our eyes out. And then I figured, like, because this is such a painful experience, we're both crying our eyes out. Like, and of course I was much younger. I figure, what? I have to tell the story. I have to finish it now. So we're both crying our eyes out, and I figured this is so uncomfortable. This is so horrible. But you know, it's just what it is. And then I figured, like, I'd give him a hand job, like a breakup hand job. It was like, well, while we're both crying, I just decided then, like, you know what? I'm just gonna give him a hand job, and so he did stop crying. He did stop crying, and it's not like he wasn't against it. You know, he's down for it. So I gave him a hand job. I don't know why I chose to do that, but and then we went to sleep, and then I left, and the next morning, then that was it. I don't know. I feel like that's kind of like using somebody, right? Like, this is very uncomfortable, and this is very uncomfortable, and I'm gonna give him a hand job so like we both can stop crying, and then
God.
I can get
Look, let's call it what it is, okay? Let's call it what it is.
Yeah.
Let's be real about this, okay? The reality is, it's a very common meme of like, oh yeah, men fucking a woman, da da da. Yeah, of course that happens, right? But there's absolutely cases where women emotionally use men to their advantage, and that isn't seen in the same way. Let's be real, women get a free pass in that situation.
I think if I told a story
I'm
about
scared.
a breakup, if I told
I'm
a story
scared.
Why are
I'm
you
scared right
If I
now.
told-
I
if I told
think I should leave the. I don't know. Like, I don't understand at all. I don't.
Was that really that bad? I will kick you for saying that.
I mean, I think it's manipulative to do that. I don't think you're a bad person. It's just like I don't.
Nathan,
I don't think
Imagine if I told a story.
Behavior.
Imagine if I told
was
a story.
like
and I was
24
I
or
was like,
25
oh,
when
shut
that
up,
happened.
Stardust. Imagine if I
Sorry.
told a story and I was like, my girlfriend and I were crying because I was breaking up with her, so I started fingering her.
Like, these
You'd all
aren't
be
like
horrified.
this isn't
Let the
like
men speak their
things
truth
that
for once,
should
please.
be like
You'd be
should be like
horrified.
joked about though. Like, this is stuff that's like really manipulative and like I don't know.
These aren't. I feel like Chud
you're
kind
not-
of touched on it.
feel
Right? So
horrible now.
women are
I'm
encouraged.
sorry, I don't mean to say that.
No, it's okay. So women are encouraged to speak their truth, right? To talk about consent and boundaries and all these things. But when men talk about their experiences, suddenly it's like it's uncomfortable, and we shouldn't get into this, and we shouldn't joke about this. Like, these are
I mean, that's
experiences that we've really had.
Mr. Girl is literally saying that he did something, like he literally had sex with someone where he knew that it would be harmful to them, but he didn't fucking care. He just did it. Like, that's like not something like I don't understand this. That does not compute in my world.
It's because men don't get a
Like,
chance to speak about this stuff. Because the moment
no,
we
it's not
do-
men. No, that's offensive to men. Most men are nothing
No.
like that. Thank
No,
God
I
they're
think-
not.
I think most
I
young guys are
maybe
like that,
have
for
a
sure.
very,
Most young
very
women are like that too.
view.
I feel like lots of young women out there
Most
have
men
been
are
aware.
decent human
I've been
beings.
aware that I think you can be a decent human being and do selfish shit sometimes. Okay, like I think lots of women out there have known that a guy's really into them romantically, but they just want his penis, so they jumped on his penis now and then and let him on, and that's a shitty thing to do, right? But I don't think that makes them psychopaths.
No, I mean, but if they're regularly hooking up with people and not really caring about them and just kind of using them, that's pretty psychopathic. Yeah.
Anna.
Wait, that's not psychopathic, is it?
Yes, it is. That's
I
not
don't
normal.
think it is. I feel like
It's
lots of
definitely
people go through
abuse,
like
for sure.
God damn.
Dan, your existence is abuse. Shut up.
Oh, we're getting a little frisky over there.
Anna.
Okay, so I just want to clarify. It was completely consensual. It was just very awkward.
What?
I feel you chose the worst. Nobody likes hand jobs. Okay, why would you choose?
I know. Nobody. I never I would never do that anyway in any other situation. Why the fuck would I give a hand job? A dude can give him a hand, give himself a hand job way better than I could give him a hand job. You know, like why would I think that I can jerk him off better than he can jerk himself off? But no,
You
I
gave him a
figured- I don't
reason
know.
to break up the relationship with, like as your last act, like it. So maybe it kind of worked.
Anna,
Yeah.
you know the scariest thing about me?
What?
I'm normal.
No, I don't think so.
You know, I think it's nice.
I think you probably would score.
You know, I'm
Dark
picking
Triad.
up on something.
Mr. Girl's Dark
No,
Triad.
you know, there's some people I know that Anna doesn't like. I'm one of them. You're one of them. I'm trying to put together 2 and 2, like what similarities there are, and I'm getting
Can
it. The Jewish thing. She's an anti-Semite, like through and through to your
You're
core.
Jewish?
Oh,
You're
we're
Jewish?
acting all
No, no,
surprised
no.
now here.
Oh,
I bet
no,
there's
no.
a fucking
Oh,
swastika
no.
behind you there, behind all those pink curtains.
I don't think that's fair.
I do have a
That
lot
does
of
sound like
white
an accusation.
furniture. It
Anna,
is,
what do you think about the
I do have a lot of
Holocaust?
white
Do you think it
furniture.
happened?
Oh my god. Chud!
That's a non-answer.
checking.
Evasion.
I'm just checking.
Evasion.
Oh my
I-
god,
yeah,
of course
okay.
it happened. And Holocaust denial is terrible.
Okay, interesting.
Because you think it's a good thing it happened.
No!
Okay, shut up. Okay, sorry.
It's terrible to not celebrate the Holocaust.
So what?
That's
We
why.
going back to you and fucking hand jobs again? I swear to fucking
No,
God,
no,
Stardust.
no. I want to say, okay. I think it's very nice that Anna thinks that most guys are not like that, or that most people are not like that. But I think that's going to actually lead you to get taken advantage of. I'm concerned. I think you should be very cautious with people. I think most people are not good people.
Including you.
I've been told that. People tell me that a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think
don't
that
agree with
giving.
that
I think giving somebody a hand job while they're crying, especially if you're breaking up with them, is
We were both
a-
we were both breaking up. It was a mutual breakup.
Okay, so you broke up with him.
No. Both of us were breaking up. We both knew
Okay,
it wasn't
I still-
working out.
I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know.
sorry,
I don't-
Stardust.
I
I
don't-
didn't mean to.
don't
I
know
don't
if
think that
that's,
you're like a bad person or anything like that. Sorry, I don't.
I do.
Sometimes,
for
no,
sure.
sometimes we do things that are just a little rapey, and that's okay.
Oh, see,
Yeah,
this is
oh,
why I don't
no,
like
Here we
you.
go.
This
Here we
is
go.
why I don't like you.
Me.
Wait, I want to tell you.
Consented.
I want to tell you guys a story. I want
He
to tell you a story.
consented.
I want to tell you a story.
Allegedly, he was emotionally compromised. I don't know if he can consent in that say. I'm just saying.
I was training a 80-year-old woman. She'd been my client for maybe like.
Did you rape an 80-year-old woman? Is that where the story's going?
Don't try to skip to the end. Don't
Client?
try to guess the end.
And both ends of the candle, huh?
Yeah, so I was a personal trainer. I was working at LA Fitness. My wife had left me, and I was training this woman throughout this whole process. So I was, I was a complete mess, and I didn't have very good boundaries. I would just kind of like talk about whatever. I was like crying at work all day, and this woman said, "Listen, Max, I want to tell you something. If you ever hit her, or you got angry with her and you would shake her, or push her, or shove her, throw her around a little, don't you ever feel bad about that, because that's hot. That's passion, baby."
Wow.
And then you raped her.
No.
Okay.
The closest I came to raping her, we were on a walk, and she was asking me about why I didn't get my cat spayed. And I said, I found it. I said, I think it's immoral. And she said, yeah, but they'll be so much happier. And I said, well, if somebody cut my balls off, I would probably be a lot happier too, but that doesn't mean I want to do it. And she said, don't ever tell that to anyone.
This is a Jewish grandmother?
Yeah.
You do a pretty good Jewish grandmother
Yeah, you
voice.
do. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Anyway, I want to hear more about Mr. Girl being Dark Triad.
I think the Stark Triad thing gets really a bad rap. every online test I've ever taken for the dark triad shit, it always gives me like 90% Machiavellian. And I looked this up, right? Like, what the fuck is this thing it's giving me? And it just seems like long-term planning skills. Like, I don't know. Just
Well, it's
calling someone dark
also
triad is like,
it's
I feel
also
like
you usually people who score high in Machiavellianism also score very low in neuroticism, like extremely low in neuroticism on the Big Five personality.
Okay,
Big
sorry,
Five personality thing.
how high do you think someone like Dan would score on like a Machiavellian test?
I can't tell because half the time I can't tell if he's playing a character or not. I think
That's
he's
how I
pretty.
always
I
tell
think.
them.
I
Very
think he's pretty
deceptive. Is that a comment on him
sadistic.
being Jewish because he's deceptive
I
or
think.
something?
Oh,
No,
Jesus, Chud.
I think that he's pretty sadistic though. Like he seems to like engage in a lot of Schadenfreude, which is a dark triad thing. Yeah,
I did have that in my Twitter profile for a while.
it's
Schadenfreude enthusiast.
is
yeah.
being low like neuroticism a bad thing? I feel like that's pretty good too.
So very significantly low neuroticism is technically like it's considered like a psychopathic thing, like a psychopathic
That's rude.
trait,
It
because
all comes
it's
down to psychopathic.
because it's like it's basically having no emotions. You don't really have many emotions. You're very blunted, emotionally blunted. It's called shallow affect. The psych term is. Yeah. One
Interesting.
might also describe this as being cold and callous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I will just say I wasn't cold when that was happening. I was still crying when it happened. So, yeah. So, I'm just saying.
It's dark.
I don't know. I think there's been times in my life kind of related to this doing rapey things thing, where I have been very cold and callous, I guess. I guess if we're all telling stories, this is kind of like about what women do too, because I think this fucking drives me insane when women do this shit. I was in my fuckboy stage, right? And it was after a major relationship broke up, and I met some girl. We arranged to meet up for some dinner, whatever the fuck. I don't want to do dinner at all. Fuck that, right? So I brushed that off. Told her like, hey, why don't we just meet at the hotel and we can watch Netflix or something. Or just meet at a hotel between our two homes, and it'll be fine. She got there like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I told her that some shit came up at work. Nothing came up at work. I just didn't want to talk to her all day, right? So I pushed it off until like 11 o'clock at night. Got there at 11. She was still there, watching Family Guy with all this food. And I spoke to her for like 20 minutes, and she was like attractive, but I just wasn't her personality was shit. I'd spoken to her too much, and I wasn't that interested in fucking her. Right. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna go on for like another 30 minutes. We'll chit chat. She's talking too much, and then I'm gonna say I feel sick and I'm gonna leave. Right. But she made this comment like, oh well, just so you know, I'm not gonna sleep with you tonight. And when she said that, right, and while going on about how she's a virgin and shit, which obviously bullshit, I was like flipped a switch, right? The competitive thing flipped in my head, and I was like, I have to have sex with her now. Like it has to happen. So like 20 minutes later, we're having sex. It's all fine. The next morning, she wakes up, makes me coffee, and she's talking about like wanting me to like meet her grandmother and her sister that day. And what am I doing? We can hang out all day. I don't want to do any of that fucking shit. I didn't even like this lady, right? So I agreed to all that. Kissed her goodbye. I said I need to go to the office really quick. Take a shower, all that good stuff. Then we'd meet up, and we'd go to she was an indigenous woman, so we'd go to the res, and I'd meet her family or whatever the fuck and her friends, and I was using a burner number, right? So I just burned the number on my phone as soon as I got to the parking lot and I left, right? And that was it. So there's been times in my life where I've definitely been like very cold, very selfish, but in that situation, her telling me that she was a virgin, that she's not going to sleep with me. I think this like very obviously. I think that
Is this story going to end with you saying, "And we're the aristocrats" or something? Where's this going?
no. Well, here's where it's going to go. I think that women lots of women do this thing where they want to present themselves as like having like boundaries or barriers to their vagina that aren't really there. Right? They want to be able to have the fun without feeling slutty.
Yeah.
They put up all these false like walls, expecting you to break them. Right?
Yes.
Expecting you to push the boundaries and
it
to
turns
get
you
in there.
It selects for aggression and rapiness. It makes you
Yes.
into a worse person. They're training
Yes.
us. Keep going. I like where you're going.
Yes. And then
This
on the
is
other
why
hand,
I don't like you.
and then on the other hand, right? On the other hand, you have discussions like I've seen 1,000 of them
Wait,
on
the
Twitch.
frog or Mr. Girl?
1,000 of them on Twitch where women are
Mr.
talking
Girl.
about, oh, you know, if you test boundaries, it's rapey. If I tell you this is a line,
Right,
and
but you have
push
to
that
do
line,
that shit to get fucking laid.
Exactly, because they do the shit on purpose. They're false boundaries. They're not real.
We need to teach women to be sluttier. If they want to be slutty,
Exactly.
they should be slutty instead of being
Yes.
and
Well,
forcing you to
Doobie-
push through
Spicy
paper
meatball.
thin fake
Oh.
boundaries.
Well-
Setting fake boundaries just makes everybody more rapey.
I mean, that doesn't apply
True.
to me. Does it apply to you, Chud?
No, not at all. I'm not.
No, not
rape
at all.
is bad.
I'm just-
Rape is terrible.
I'm disgusted by this entire
What's,
conversation.
what's
to be
your
honest.
what's your position on rape, Dan? Can I just get it on the record, please?
Oh, just totally not a fan of it at all. In fact, I
Exactly.
think that you
Terrible.
should go to jail 100%.
Precisely.
That's a lie.
My parents were right. Public school is filled with degenerates.
Did you go
I
to
think
private
there's an
school?
issue with how we
My parents were
socialize
right to send
people.
me to private school.
Dusty.
Yeah, I think there's a problem with how we socialize people, different genders and stuff. Because
People with XX chromosomes.
yes. So one thing that I always try to advise like girls who are younger than me is to just be very upfront with things. Because I think that fuck, I lost the wording. I think that we are always avoiding saying rejecting people because we're kind of like we're kind of told to like we're just afraid of saying like exactly what we want. Like why the fuck why are we doing this? Like why don't we just communicate exactly what we want? I don't know. It's strange. It's so strange because you're not supposed to be too open, or if you're I don't know. It's like you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Because then if you're not open, then you're like a prude or whatever. I don't know. It's a very weird thing to think about in my head.
Yeah, the most socially acceptable position to be in as a woman, particularly a young woman, if you're fucking, is that I got talked into it.
Exactly. Right. You want to have the fun, but you don't want to feel slutty. So you need to put up false boundaries. So the guy breaks them. So at the end of the day, you feel like, you put up a fight, quote unquote. Right?
I don't think that's very intentional, though. I think that it's sort of automatic, and I think women don't even know themselves if they want to have sex often.
Oh my god.
Yeah, that's sometimes true. That's sometimes true, where women don't know if they want to have sex.
I think the problem you're going to have
There's
is when you
so
say
much
like,
wrong with this. There is so much wrong with
okay,
this.
listen, Anna, if you want to push back, go ahead.
I mean, we're trolling, right?
Well,
Obviously, we're all
I
trolling.
see what you're saying, Anna, and I do think that like now that
How are you not trolling? This is completely rapey.
Well,
Me or
no, I
Stardust?
think it's part of the way that we are socialized to not be upfront with what we want, and so
Even with yourselves.
even with ourselves, yeah. And so when it comes to, for example, setting a boundary, even setting boundaries, it's like well, maybe you should just like give in to something, right? It's very confusing. It's such a confusing way to be socialized because you're not supposed to fight. You're not supposed to like you're not supposed to disagree. You're not supposed to argue with
get
him.
angry. You're not supposed to get angry.
You're not supposed to, and then when he starts pushing, infringing on your boundaries, then you're like, then I don't know. There's some incentive there to not say anything, but there's also the incentive where like you don't want to be seen as a slut. So you know what? I'm not going to say that I want it. I'm not going to say that I want something from somebody. So I'm just gonna wait for him. So you're creating this really weird fucking gray area where it's like I don't. At a certain point, like I don't know where me wanting it is starting and me not wanting it is.
What if I just don't fucking want it? What if I just don't fucking want it?
I agree with you. We need to. I think.
And then
that's
this motherfucker here, Mr. Girl, he's gonna be like, "Well, are you sure you don't really want, or are you
mean,
you
he's
can
like,
never, you
his
can
like,
never, you can never
that's
really.
why I
you
tell
can
girls
never,
younger than me, just be
Like,
upfront when you
can
if you
never
want
know
that,
for
I think your
sure.
no means yes, actually.
Well,
Like,
yeah,
oh my
you
God.
never know for sure. Doobie, go ahead.
So Anna, I don't know anything about
Yeah.
your like life or anything like that, right? And I'm not making any judgments, but I'm genuinely curious. So when you said earlier that your parents were right that public schools are full of like psychopaths or whatever, like if you do you think you'd like describe your life as like very sheltered, or like it feels like you don't interact with the plebs very often, to be honest with you.
Oh, okay. Wait, let me ask you guys. Did you guys get a car for your 16th birthday? Because people in my Twitch chat were telling me that like, oh, that's like not something that everybody does. And I was like, "What? Yes, it is. Everybody gets a car for their 16th birthday. Like a new car."
I feel like that answers my question.
I got a 1987 Prelude.
See, he got a car. Oh, wait, it wasn't a new one?
No.
I got a
Wait, sorry,
shitty
Anna.
Subaru.
Are you saying you? And wait a second. You got a car for your 16th birthday. Was it new?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what she said.
but
Okay,
it was
listen.
a shitty Subaru. It was a shitty Subaru car.
There's a
Okay.
shitty new Subaru.
Wait a
But,
second.
like,
I'm
yeah, but,
sorry,
like,
that
my
is
other
insanely. Listen, I don't like to
Yeah,
talk
but-
about privilege, but that is insanely
but, like,
crazy
my-
to me.
Guys, I
No,
have to
it's
go.
not. Like, that's
I
being-
have to go. You guys can continue to use the meeting room. Just clean up when you're done.
I gotta
Sure.
go too. Actually, I'm tired.
Pleasure,
Okay.
chaps. I'll.
We go in
for
solidarity with
having
you,
us.
Mr. Girl.
Well, I guess we're all going. So
Now
does everybody want to
linger
finish?
around, I guess.
I'll speak
Yeah,
a bit
Doobie,
longer.
oh,
I'll stay
okay,
here by
great.
myself.
Catch you later, chaps. Have a good one.
Shalom.
Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you for
guys.
having us.
You
Much
guys shalom.
appreciated.
Yeah.
Fun conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, Anna, listen.
Okay,
Do you
yes.
understand? That is like, upper middle class levels of privilege to get a new car for your 16th birthday. That's quite
Are
unusual.
you sure? I mean, everyone I
Yes.
knew also did.
A
Okay.
new one is
Yeah, that's
yeah.
You
New
must have
one
lived in
maybe
an
even
area.
yeah, maybe like at the 15-year-old beater that your aunt had sitting in the garage or something, right? But not like a brand new car that's 16 years old. That's pretty.
My parents didn't want me to drive something that would be unsafe, though.
Yeah, I'm not like saying it's a bad thing, or I'm not making any judgments about it. I'm genuinely curious because when you made that comment about public school people or whatever, and some of the other stuff you said, like the being like surprised about like a cat fuckboy culture. I don't know what to call it, right? Just people like fucking around just for physical pleasure and not really giving a fuck about anything else. I feel like that's pretty common amongst
I
like
know
the plebs. Like
I
don't.
know people who have done hookups, but I mean, they also like they're considerate of the other person's feelings, and they wouldn't do a hookup with someone if they thought that it could like harm them or something. I don't know.
I feel like most people don't like, at least in my experience, like, and I feel like most people don't really put a lot of thought into the other person's like, long-term mental health, right? They're thinking, hey, does this person seem like they want to have sex with me? Yes. Do I want to have sex with them? Yes. Do we have somewhere we can go to do it? Yes. Okay, cool. Let's do it. And that's about it.
No, I don't think that's normal.
So I saw there's this program on American TV called Super Sweet 16, and it was all these like rich,
Yeah.
bratty 16-year-olds. Was that like kind of like what it was? Did you have like a Super Sweet 16?
No. I mean, I had a party, but it wasn't anything like those shows. No, because
Apart from the car
my
bit.
friend.
Because often they get a
No,
new
it wasn't
car,
like
don't they? Okay.
Hmm?
I was just saying, like in that show, I remember I've not watched it for ages.
Oh.
But one aspect of it is
Yeah,
they get a
yeah.
new car, and that's like I was wondering if there was any other similarities.
No. Because those they have like huge parties. I remember seeing that show. Yeah, no. They have like they bring like circuses in and all kinds of crazy shit for like
Okay.
those super sweet 16s. Yeah, no.
No, that's fine. I mean, the thing is, if you're in a situation where everyone around you is getting the same experience, you're not necessarily going to know. But yeah, I mean, I'm not American, but I'm fairly certain most people wouldn't have got a new car when they were 16. And
I do talk a lot about how like I have a really wealthy family, like landlords. They're like landlords and stuff. Like everybody in my family for some reason is like a lawyer or a landlord. I don't. It's so weird.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, you don't choose your family at the end of the day. Like, it's just a fortune of or misfortune of who you're born to, right? But yeah, I think that's, no disrespect, but that's going to give you a very skewed perspective on like, what people's lives are like, particularly with the car thing. And you know, it is what
Yeah,
it is.
and I'm not saying, and I'm not saying it's like a bad perspective, right? I think ideally you do want to have like some consideration for the other person's mental health and emotions, and whatnot, if you're going to sleep with them, right? Like ideally, you probably want to have that kind of consideration for everybody you meet. I just don't think it's that common. Like my experience, like when I was a kid, the kind of advice I got about like girls and whatnot, I'll give you my uncle, for example. He's going on about his bitches and said, oh, you know, sometimes a bitch is like, she's really being annoying, you know, she's nagging you, blah, blah, blah. And, you know, that's when you really have to give it to her. And, you know, sometimes you got to hold her down and do it. Like, that's the kind of advice I got. Right. And he was like, oh, and afterwards, you know, she'll be good. She just needed to get it out of her, whatever the fuck. Like that's like, I don't know. But I had a very low class family, like obviously. So I think your advice was probably a lot better than the advice that I got. But yeah, I think I just kind of explained some of the disconnect maybe.
Maybe.
And I think as well, another thing to note is like if you look at society, it's the meme obviously, but if you look at society and the way we're all socialized, you know, that has a massive impact on the outcomes that we end up in, you know. So and we talk about like rape culture, which is a thing, but then people are like surprised when individuals act in weird ways, which we're like, that's a bit fucking sus. But you know, a lot of it is led by cultural influences and societal influences. So yeah, it's all kind of fucked up, really. I don't know. Okay, well listen, I think I'm gonna bounce. I need to go to bed. It's like 20 to 5 in the morning for me. Okay. But thanks for coming by. Thanks for chatting.
Yeah.
And
fun chat.
I'll speak to you all soon. Okay.
Bye, Chud.
Bye, sir. Good night.
Hi, ChudLogic.
Good morning, whatever it is.